Here we go at 1 o'clock. We have made it to Friday. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We have a lot to get to this afternoon, but remember, this is an interactive news conversation. We are live streaming on all of our social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And of course, you can join us throughout the day on Fox Local. But we are following some breaking news right now, and I want to check in with our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza. Our chopper was just over the scene of a shooting a short time ago. Tanya, what are you able to tell us?
That's right, Tyler. We flew our chopper over to the area of Connell Avenue Southwest and Metropolitan Parkway. Actually, it was we got a release from the Atlanta Police Department. They're saying it's a fatal shooting at 501 Connell Avenue. An adult male has sustained an apparent gunshot wound and was pronounced deceased on the scene. They're asking that we monitor their website for more information later. What it appears to be there is that there is some sort of it looks like a neighborhood, a modular home neighborhood or something there, and we were told that the body may have been near the bushes there, but we are trying to figure out what caused the shooting, who's involved, do they have a suspect, and hopefully get a name for the person that is deceased on this scene.
Yeah,
Tyler?
Yeah, you can tell that they have cordoned off the area. I can see the yellow crime scene tape up, multiple police units on scene, and it looks like the Atlanta Police crime scene investigators are there as well. So we'll keep monitoring that story and bring you updates throughout the afternoon. Another breaking story we're following has to do with a boil water advisory. What can you tell us about that one?
That's right. A power failure at the Hemphill Water Treatment Plant dropped system pressures, and if you have low water pressure, you must boil tap water for 1 full minute before drinking, cooking, or brushing your teeth. Bottled water is highly recommended in that area. That's what the Atlanta Department of Watershed Management is telling us. They sent over a press release. They've been tweeting about it. They issued a boil water advisory for the city of Atlanta, specifically the downtown area, but the actual area, I don't know if we have the maps to show of the area that's affected, but you can take a look. Hold on, I have it right here somewhere in front of me. I will take a look. So basically in the area, it's not only downtown, it's Cabbagetown, Grant Park, Peoplestown, Pittsburgh, Mechanicsville, Vine City. So everybody in those areas need to follow the boil water advisory. Angelique Proctor's working the story. Surprisingly, Angelique's been knocking on doors and nobody seems to have low water pressure or any issues, but because the city has issued this boil water advisory, everyone needs to follow the instructions they were given. So that's what's happening. You can also go to at ATL Watershed for updates on Twitter. So we'll have the updates here, of course, all the time in the live streams and on the newscast and online, but for other people who want to go to X or Twitter, they can look there.
Yeah, we know that sometimes in situations like this, they do it out of precautionary reasons. So people may have full water pressure. We saw that, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when we had the massive water issues throughout the city of Atlanta, when we had the water main breaks over on the west side and also in Midtown. I was one of the people affected. I had to boil my water, but I had no issues with my water. But it's always a good reminder that even if you have full water pressure and you in that boundary, you should really still heed the warnings to make sure you stay safe. So we're going to stay on top of that one. Angelique Proctor is going to go ahead.
And we did get one email to the station this morning before they actually issued the water boil of people complaining about it. So some people were affected. We just haven't gotten any on camera, but Angelique's knocking on doors, and we'll have that later.
Yep, she'll be joining us in our later hours here on Fox 5 News Live. Another story that is grabbing a lot of attention, and this has to do with a building in Midtown. We're looking at the picture right there. It's been deemed unsafe. What do we know about this situation there, where that place is supposed to be being renovated and being brought up to speed, and new stuff there for a new building permit, but what do we know from the city?
That's right. So a city inspection has officially declared an abandoned 20-story Midtown high-rise at and 14th Street unsafe. So there you're looking at the video of that. This is over near the Colony Square area, by the way. The structure is substantially gutted. All building permits expired in 2025, October of 2025, and there are 3 unsecured entry gaps. So the covered protective walkways have shifted and the concrete sidewalk pavers are displaced, creating severe hazards in that area. The city, the mayor did issue a statement saying there is no John Dewberry law, expecting all owners to follow the law as litigation looms. The city is requiring the owners to immediately fix the barriers and walkways to protect the public. So that's over in the Midtown area, huge eyesore, and it's been deemed unsafe.
Yeah.
Tyler, I know you are always in that area. I actually drove by the building last night when I was out for dinner, and it is a huge eyesore, but safety is the #1 concern.
Yeah, I know a number of people have been telling me over the years that they absolutely hate that building, and I'll tell you, I'm actually the one who was able to confirm with building records some of the information that you were able to share. I know you had gotten a hold of the city yesterday, and I looked at the building records this morning, and there were just a number of complaints from people in the city of Atlanta who live in that area. Someone was recently complaining about the crane. You can actually see it on the chopper shot there, the bottom part of the crane. That's apparently been there for over a year, according to one of the complaints, saying that they are concerned for their safety in the area. Obviously, that's not something they're doing much about there. They're more concerned about the safety of access points. So we are going to be following this one and see if there's any developments with that being deemed
Tyler,
unsafe.
one of the emails that we got about people complaining about the building, it specifically mentioned as well that it's right across the street from like one of the most well-known like dining areas in the city, hugely popular. And then there's the eyesore right there, and the whole safety aspect. So, you know, the mayor did issue this statement. So we'll be following this story as it develops throughout the next few weeks.
Yeah, certainly right. I mean, as you mentioned, I went right by it last night on my way home from work. I went up north of Piedmont Park and down and had to go down to Juniper right there. So definitely a talker for people in the Midtown area.
Right, and you know, our viewers that are watching right now on TikTok or YouTube, they can go ahead and comment and let us know what they think about this.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about another thing that a lot of folks are paying attention to right now, whether they're either hitting the road or the skies. We know that this could be a record-breaking Memorial Day travel. What can you tell us about the situation at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International?
That's right. Our reporter Ray Yadena is over at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, and he's covering the holiday travel rush. Today is projected to be the single busiest travel day of the Memorial Day holiday period, which runs through next Wednesday. AAA forecasts 45 million Americans traveling this weekend, with 2.7 million passengers expected at Atlanta's airport alone. Hartsfield-Jackson is expecting 379,000 flyers today, and Delta scheduled 25,600 flights through Monday to handle the rush. So that's what's going on. It was busy this morning and at noon, and we will have live reports from Ray throughout the day. Tyler?
Tanya, thank you so much for the update on the stories we're working on today. A busy Friday here in the newsroom on Memorial Day weekend. We know you're going to stay on top of it. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
And as we come back in our newsroom here, we're going to talk about another story that is certainly one that people are paying attention to, and has to do with the 404-day shooting. Well, we now know that there is an increased reward, and we are also getting some new video. So here's what I can tell you. Atlanta police just released new video of a 4th person of interest in the deadly shooting on 404 Day at Piedmont Park. This is that video that they released yesterday during a news conference yesterday afternoon. They say this person was seen running from the scene with a gun the night 16-year-old Tiana Robinson was killed. The shooting happened during a large 404 Day gathering back on April 4th. Police say gunfire erupted in inside of Piedmont Park, killing Robinson and wounding another 15-year-old. Investigators believe several people opened fire before running away as panicked crowds scrambled for cover. Witnesses described a chaotic scene as people ran through the park trying to escape the gunfire. Standing shoulder to shoulder with Atlanta police, Tiana Robinson's family made an emotional plea for help, begging anyone who knows something to come forward. Crime Stoppers has also increased the reward from $15,000 up to $25,000 for information that leads to an arrest in this case. Again, so far, no arrests have been made. Let's take a listen to the family, who obviously is emotional as they plead for answers.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Terrell Robinson, the father of Tiana Robinson. And I just want to speak up about what happened at Piedmont Park on 4-4. Please, you can't let this murder just go away as another unsolved case. We have to solve this case, not just for my family, but for the whole city. This touched a lot of people. I'm getting messages and phone calls from everybody hearing about it. And Tiana was, she's a very loved person all over. So please, if you know something, please say something. We have to solve this. We need your help. Yeah. Thanks.
My name is Tanisha Watkins. I'm the mother of Tiana. I want justice, because if it was somebody else's child, niece, cousin, or whatever, y'all want the same thing. I want justice. We can't sleep. My oldest daughter just graduated. She didn't even want stage because our sister wasn't there. We're just asking for someone to speak up.
Hi, my name is Mia. I'm her cousin. A lot of people were at that park that day, and I know a lot of people may have known what happened. As you can see, this is really affecting my family. We're so hurt by this, and there's not a day that goes by that we don't think about her. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. This is the worst pain that I've ever felt in my life. So I'm just pleading with the public, the city of Atlanta, anyone on the outskirts that's seen anything or know these individuals, please say something so we can get justice. It's hard to sleep, it's hard to eat, it's hard to do regular things because we know that her murder is unsolved. So if you know anything, please help us. Please say something. It's okay to say something. Thank you.
It is certainly okay to say something. You can help this family out. There's a Crime Stoppers reward. It's been up to $25,000. Again, if you know anything, call Atlanta Police. And another story we are following is also in Atlanta. This one is on Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard. Let's show you some video that police released of a person of interest that they're trying to track down. They are wanted in connection with a shooting and a car crash. Investigators say Joseph Williams was shot on Joseph E. Boone Boulevard Monday night. He then drove off and crashed his car nearby. He later died at the hospital. Police are asking anyone who might recognize this person to call them. They are hoping to have a break in this case. And new this afternoon, we are learning about some information out of Douglas County, where police are trying to identify a man who was found dead in the Dog River Reservoir earlier this month. The unidentified man was recovered from the water along Highway 166. That's in Douglasville on May 15th. So just about a week or so ago. Authorities have released photos of the man's tattoos, hoping someone recognizes them. You're looking at the pictures on your screen right now. It looks like a cross on the left. These are kind of distinct tattoos. So obviously, if you might know something, you are urged to contact the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. They would love to hear from you. So those are some of the top headlines we're following right now. Let's take a live look outside. This is downtown Atlanta. Memorial Day weekend is here. Hopefully you're able to get off work early before hopefully the rain doesn't come in, because that's going to be unfortunately a thing we're going to see in the forecast. We have our meteorologist Doug Evans, Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Doug Evans, standing by with a look at what we can expect for the weekend ahead. Let's check in with him.
Hey everybody, if you're out and about this afternoon, you can expect those rain chances to really ramp up after the 6 o'clock hour. Before that, isolated showers. It becomes more concentrated in the evening hours. This is, like I said, just hit or miss showers throughout the afternoon. Not everybody's going to see some rain. More concentrated rain showers from 6 to 10. And so if you're out and about, or if you're traveling this evening after working all day and maybe you're getting out of town for the Memorial Day weekend, you can expect to run into some showers, especially as you travel down 75 south up toward the north. Not so much a problem. So we've got this frontal system that is stalled out over North Georgia. We add in some moisture coming up from the Gulf, and that is what's helping to fuel these storms this afternoon. And that's just a weather pattern that's going to continue all the way through midweek of next week. We're not going to get a break from that. In terms of what we can expect this afternoon, again, just isolated showers. Metro Atlanta seems fairly dry at this time, but as I was saying, all up and down the 75 corridor, you can expect to run into some rain showers. Down 85 heading the other way through Alabama, same thing. If you're headed to the Gulf, you can expect some rain showers as well. Here's the 5 o'clock hour. Again, we see these isolated showers starting to move across North Georgia and especially Central Georgia. And then, as I said, at the 8 o'clock hour, it just becomes more concentrated as you have this mass kind of moving through the state at that hour. And that's going to persist all throughout the evening hours. And then we get a break overnight and into tomorrow morning, looking fairly dry all the way up until about noon. And then we add that heat and humidity combination again, and that's when we start to fire up these isolated showers. Maybe even some thunderstorms or two in here. So you got to be on the lookout for that as well. Wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, heavy downpours, and even some lightning. Nothing in terms of severe weather like tornadoes or anything like that. That's not what we're looking at. But certainly where these storms happen, it's going to be rather intense at times. So then we're at Saturday evening. Again, the isolated showers just stay with us. We get a break overnight for into Sunday morning, and then it's just a repeat all the way into midweek. Here we are on Monday in the morning. Again, it's dry, and then the afternoon just falls apart again. Here's what we can expect in your 7-day forecast then. A 60% chance of rain today. Not everybody's going to see rain. Most of us probably will. The rain chances increase then after that substantially on Monday. Again, these are isolated events, so not everybody's going to see rain, but your chances of seeing rain are pretty dang good all the way through Monday. And then, like I said, we're just stuck in this weather pattern that continues all the way past midweek. Our low temperatures are down into the 60s. Our high temperatures are in the 80s. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Chuck, thank you so much for the update. We are following breaking news right now. Fox News has learned exclusively that Tulsi Gabbard has resigned from her post as the Director of National Intelligence to support her husband through his battle with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. Again, Fox News has learned this exclusively. Gabbard notified President Trump during a meeting in the Oval Office today. Her last day at the agency is expected to be on June 30th, so a little over a month away. And Fox News Digital exclusively obtained her formal resignation letter, in which Gabbard says she is, quote, deeply grateful for the trust you placed in me, that's President Trump, and for the opportunity to lead the office of the Director of National Intelligence for the last year and a half, end quote. She went on to say, unfortunately, I must submit my resignation effective June 30th, 2026. My husband, Abraham, has recently been diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. And Gabbard said her husband, quote, faces major challenges in the coming weeks and months, and at this time, quote, she must step away from public service to be by his side and fully support him through his battle. She said Abraham has been her rock throughout her 11-year marriage, standing steadfast through her deployment to East Africa on a joint special operations mission, multiple political campaigns, and now her service in this role. Again, this is breaking. Fox News has learned this exclusively. We'll be diving deeper into this a little later on here on Fox 5 News Live. In the later hours this afternoon. We'll stay on top of this and, of course, bring you the very latest. Fox 5 News Live at 1. We'll continue after this. 121 on this Friday afternoon. We have made it to the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and if you're planning to spend some time outdoors, you're going to be greeted by some rain, unfortunately, it seems like. Unfortunately, that forecast is not looking so great for perfect sunshine the entire day this weekend, each day. But you're going to be able to go outside. And so thousands of people across Metro Atlanta are expected to hit the water for the weekend, especially if you go earlier in the day. But before you jump into the Chattahoochee River or Lake Lanier, there's a tool helping people check whether the water is safe. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper is bringing back its swim guide this summer, testing popular swimming spots for E. coli and posting weekly results online. Joining us live this afternoon is Becca Reiser. And Becca, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about this. So for people who may not be familiar, what is the swim guide and how exactly does it work?
Well, every year, all year long, Chattahoochee Riverkeeper monitors bacteria levels in our rivers and streams. And this swim guide program is a way for us to better communicate to the public what current water quality metrics are and what places are safest to swim in.
With the swim guide, you guys, this is your first week of doing it this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So I think we have a shot of it if we can bring it up. It's in one of our routers, so we can show people exactly what it is. So we're looking at it on the screen. So this is part of it, obviously, but we're in the Atlanta area, so we're showing you the Atlanta portion. You can see Lake Lanier. You see a couple check marks along multiple areas, but you also see some X's. What does the X mean if people are like looking at that? And what does the check mark, the green check mark, mean?
Yeah, so the EPA has what we are monitoring for here is E. coli bacteria, which is an indicator bacteria that can cause illness in people if they swim in the water. And the beach action value established by EPA is 235 colonies of bacteria per 100 milliliters of water. So all of the green check marks are locations where water collected yesterday tested to be below that threshold, and where there's a red X, those sample sites were above that threshold.
So green is good, red is bad.
Absolutely, yes.
So if people are heading out this weekend, we've had some rain recently. Does that kind of impact what kind of water quality we're seeing?
It absolutely does. All of these sample sites, that is a snapshot in time taken yesterday morning. So as conditions change, if we see significant rainfall, those water quality metrics can change. And we generally recommend that people use more caution around recreating in the water during the 48 hours after a heavy rainstorm, or if the river is high and muddy. Just know that these are measurements that are changing all the time. And we try to update as frequently as we can with updated information about any alerts and any new data on water quality.
Yeah, I lived down in Mobile for a period of time, and the Mobile Riverkeeper, they did something similar. The Mobile Bay could be dirty at times, and depending where you are, you want to be careful where you're swimming. And so having a guide like this is really amazing to know if you're planning to get in the river that this area was bad the other day, but this area was good. And so what is the response you guys get from people who go to your website and see this? Do people really like having access to this information?
Yeah, I think people appreciate it. Water quality in the Chattahoochee River in Atlanta has improved markedly over the last 30 years. So it's always gratifying to be able to share this data with the public and show that most of the locations in the watershed are safe for swimming most of the time. And it's just information for people to be able to use to make their own decisions about what risk levels they're comfortable with in their own particular circumstances.
So we're obviously talking about it. Where can people find the swim guide? We can obviously show it again. This is what the map's going to look like. But where can people be able to get this swim guide? And is it just automatically updated every week?
Yes. So we update it every Friday by noon. And it is available on our website, chattahoochee.org. And we also will be posting a link to it on Facebook and on our other social media sites every Friday.
Well, Becca, I really appreciate you joining us this afternoon here on Fox 5 News Live. Important information. A lot of people going to be getting in the Chattahoochee this weekend, getting in Lake Lanier. So knowledge is everything. And shooting the hooch, I'm sure a lot of people are planning to do that, considering the weather feels nice and sticky out there. So it's the perfect time to have some the ability to get in the water. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
And as we continue on this Friday of Memorial Day weekend, we want to talk about something that is vitally important, and that is blood. It saves lives in emergencies, but right now there is a shortage. LifeSouth is holding a blood drive to help first responders and local hospitals across Metro Atlanta. We sent our Maria Guzman out to check it out. I can see it all set up behind you, the blood mobile. What's the response been like, and how important is giving blood right now? Especially, I know the summer can be a lull for them.
Yes, hi Tyler. It's been a full house. It's been packed. The bus has been full all morning long. I mean, right behind me, we can see some first responders that are waiting. So a lot of first responders, but also just a lot of neighbors in Cobb County have been donating all morning long. And this is going to continue for until 3 p.m. And LifeSouth works just really closely with local hospitals and different EMS agencies just to equip them with blood supplies. So to talk to me a little bit more about that, I do have here Lori, who is with LifeSouth. Hi, Lori, and
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So just walk me through the process for someone who's interested in donating blood today. What can they expect?
Oh, wow. So all you have to do is come on down, find one of our blood drives, our blood centers. You can go to lifesouth.org. Super easy. Look us up, come on down, and all you need is a photo ID, get registered, and then you fill out 45 questions just regarding health, travel, things like that, and then you're off on, to donate. We just want to make sure you're eligible in blood pressure, your temperature, weight, and your hemoglobin.
Awesome. And let's just go ahead and talk about the need that you guys are seeing regarding blood supply right now.
Yeah, we are in urgent need for blood donors, and what's really cool right now is LifeSouth is offering $25 e-gift cards for those donors that come and see us between now and the 25th. We also are bumping that up to $40 because we're in that much of a need for blood. The $40 goes towards folks that want to donate double reds, platelets, those types of procedures.
I know you guys are looking for all type of blood, but what's the blood you guys always, use that's most in demand?
Yeah, for sure. So we do need all types, but most in demand, we are urgent for O types, so O positive and O negative.
Yes. And just walk with 7 different EMS agencies and even local hospitals. So I know you guys equip them with blood supplies for when they respond to those emergency calls.
Yeah, so we are truly, community is our name. We're LifeSouth Community Blood Centers. So when someone donates with us, their blood stays local in the greater Atlanta area. So of course we supply WellStar as well as Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, but it's really great as of recent. Last year we started providing blood to the EMS agencies throughout the Atlanta area. It's been incredibly impactful. We keep hearing stories of lives saved out there in the field with these EMS agencies.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lori, for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So they're going to be here all the way until 3 p.m. So that means you still have a chance to come here. We're at Cobb County, and they're going to be doing a lot of these more drives throughout the summer, Tyler.
Yeah, Maria, hopefully people hear this, they come on out. I mean, it's vitally important. I've covered this a number of times over the years. The summer, when you don't have those school blood drives going on, you just don't have that frequent donation coming in. And so hopefully people are able to, if they're willing and able, come on out and be able to give some blood on this Memorial Day weekend. Maria, thank you so much for a look inside their operation and the details on that. So we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We'll be right back after this. And 1:32 on this Friday afternoon, we are following breaking news just into this newsroom. We talked about it a little bit ago, but we just wanted to mention it one more time. Fox News has learned exclusively that Tulsi Gabbard has resigned from the Trump cabinet. According to a post that Fox News has obtained exclusively, she is resigning from her post as the director of national intelligence to support her husband through his battle with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. Gabbard notified President Donald Trump during a meeting in the Oval Office today. Her last day is expected to be on June 30th. Again, she is resigning from President Trump's cabinet, citing her husband's battle with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. We're going to stay on top of this and, of course, bring you updates as we get them. As we come back into our newsroom, we are just a matter of weeks away from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And at this point, we probably sound like a broken record. You know that it's going to be airing on Fox 5, all of the matches, but we have 8 matches here in the city of Atlanta. Super excited about that. June 15th is the first match. July 15th, the semifinal. We have a lot of fun this summer expecting the soccer and all of the things that are going to be surrounding it. And one of the things surrounding it is going to be the Fan Fest at Centennial Olympic Park. And there are internships related to that. So joining us this afternoon to talk about that is Tulsi Gabbard, Director of Sports Engagement and Community Engagement for the Georgia World Congress Center. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about this. So the FIFA World Cup Fan Experience, Fan Festival, you guys are offering internships. What should people know about that, and where can people apply?
Yeah, so we're excited to really offer an internship opportunity for our FIFA Fan Festival taking place at Centennial Olympic Park. And so students can apply at gwccajobs.com, where they will see a job description. But really, we have so many different activities taking place in the park. We know that we have a main stage, and so there will be live broadcasts of the soccer matches, as well as talent and musical acts. And so we're really looking for artists and talent liaisons. We'll have a pitch with community staging and programming, or we'll have 3 versus 3 matches. And so we need students to help us there. We also have our brand activations with a lot of our commercial partners. So the Home Depot, Coca-Cola, Hyundai, Bank of America. And we need people to really interact with those commercial partners and help us run errands and serve behind the stage and behind the scenes.
So when people hear intern, what kind of experiences will they get out of being a part of this?
Well, it's really a great resume builder and an opportunity to work with our operations and logistics team, our executive producers, and really welcome the world to Atlanta. We want people to feel that Southern hospitality.
Skills that they can take to the job market once they finally graduate?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you'll be getting communication skills, problem solving, leadership, and really just an opportunity to impact your community in a positive way.
Executive producers and the folks behind this is obviously a hospitality and live event experience. What opportunities will interns have to be able to network with professionals if they want to take part in this opportunity you guys are offering?
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be so many different organizations and people working behind the scenes to make this happen. So it is a great networking opportunity as you think through our operations and logistics teams. We have guest services, events, support. And so there's so many people that really make this engine run. And so the students will have an opportunity to really engage with everyone behind the scenes for sure.
And so why is the guest experience on such an international event like the Fan Festival an important part? Like, what is such an important part of this?
Yeah, well, we know this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, right? We haven't had something to this magnitude in Atlanta since the 1996 Olympics. So we really are excited to welcome the world to Atlanta and to celebrate soccer on a global stage. And this is an opportunity for those students to really be a part of that.
And so just quick last little point I want to make here. How can people apply? We've talked a lot about the experience people are going to get, the students are going to get. How can people apply and where can they get more information about this opportunity?
So if you were to go to our website, gwccajobs.com, you will see the job description there and you have an opportunity to apply.
Well, I appreciate you joining us this afternoon to be able to tell us about this, and hopefully you guys can get some applications. It sounds like a good opportunity for people in school, and honestly get up-close experience to all the fun that's going to be at Centennial Olympic Park for this fan festival. I know I've been hearing about it for quite a while, so I appreciate you joining us this afternoon to tell us about this opportunity, and hopefully folks apply.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And as we continue on this Friday afternoon, I want to talk about something a little more fun that's a little bit different from the fan festival. Obviously, that's going to be a lot of fun for the folks who are going to take part from the internship opportunities. But Soul Legends, the Commodores, and the Spinners will take the stage at the Bowl at Sugar Hill this tonight. And you better believe the Brick House next door will be rocking. We're talking about the Rooftop, a bar and live music venue that overlooks the bowl and drawing big crowds to enjoy drinks and music under the stars. Good Day Atlanta's Paul Milliken gets the party started at the Rooftop. Let's take a look.
Hey everybody, well happy Friday. Let me tell you, if you're going to start off a Memorial Day weekend, there are much worse places to be than the Rooftop in Sugar Hill. And you know, I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy, and I was skeptical, Jeff and Jennifer, because I've had many an old-fashioned in my life, and you kept saying it's the best one you'll ever have. Darn it if you weren't right. This is so good.
2 special ingredients. We cannot tell you what they are.
Okay, no, look, I don't want to be killed, so I'll drink it. I don't need to know what's in it. Guys, first of all, congratulations on what you have built here in Sugar Hill. As you all can tell at home, it is a party every day here at the Rooftop. So Jennifer, let's go back in time, because what I love about your story is you were not doing this kind of work before you decided to open the Rooftop. So what led to this place?
We're a little crazy, I guess.
That's the perfect answer.
Yeah. We love entertaining, we love live music, and this was a great way to make a bigger space and combine the two. We created a living room where everybody can come in and be comfortable and enjoy the evening, and live great cocktails are just a bonus.
Yeah, well, and I remember you saying before you wanted to have kind of a new Cheers, a place where everybody knew who you were, you felt comfortable. I would say you achieved that. What do you think, Jim?
It's our living room. Yeah. I mean, that is what we have created. We know literally everyone in here. Yeah. And that's pretty flattering. So it's become that.
And again, a big reason why you did this was you love live music. So Jennifer, how often do you have live music up here?
Every night, Tuesday through Saturday.
Unbelievable. And I said before, it seems like it would be hard to book live music for every night. You guys said it's not.
No, we've been fully booked for this year for months and months. Wow. So we're getting ready to start 27.
And it's not just any old person who can play a guitar off the street like Paul Milliken. All right, you've got real talent.
We do. It's amazing. Again, this guy was on The Voice, and she is amazing, and she does all the bookings. Wow. And she's very picky, very choosy on who comes in here, and does a fantastic job.
Yeah, that's Peyton Kyle over there, by the way, with Quiet Fire. Again, just on The Voice, been playing for us all morning, which has been amazing. Now, Jennifer, what is this behind us right here?
So this is our beer garden. Okay. We've got an additional 16 beers on tap outside. Mm-hmm. They rotate all the time. They're mostly local. We've got 8 inside. They're always the same, but amazing. These change all the time. They're seasonal, and you just ask your server for one, and they'll come up and pour it for you.
And I love that it's out here. This is so cool. And you guys work with great folks to keep nice and stocked back there, right?
We do. Marina, our distributor, our rep for the distributor, is just wonderful. She's the best in the business, and we wanted to give her a shout out.
For sure, absolutely. And I know you always want to give your community a shout out, because this wouldn't exist without that loyal clientele that comes back. And you really have them. The people that are up here, they love this place.
You know, that's one thing we didn't really think about, that we've created like a family, and people have come into relationships, become close friends.
Oh yeah, you have connected people up here, right?
I mean, we've got the mayor here, we've got the city manager here, we've got a lot of city people here, which is pretty flattering in itself.
Cool. You know, you've got Fox 5 here. You missed that.
We've got Paul Milliken.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I paid you for. All right, Paul Milliken is here, guys. Seriously, congrats on an incredible place, a perfect place to be. I mean, it's Memorial Day weekend. You're going to be rocking up here, aren't you?
We are going to be rocking.
Yeah, this is certainly the place to be. Yeah, so great to see you guys. And I want to show everybody else the view back here. So wait, I got to come through. Sorry, really quickly. I just want to point over the wall there. Look at the view of the bowl down there. That is the bowl at Sugar Hill. It is the amphitheater amphitheater here in town. It is so cool down there, and coming up tonight, the Commodores and the Spinners are performing, and the music is great down there. But you know what? When you've got music up here, Peyton Kyle, hi.
Can we cheers? Hi.
Can we please cheers, first of all, to your incredible success. What has life been like since The Voice?
Tremendous. A lot of work. I'm working on my first album right now.
Yes.
We're 3 out of 5 songs in. Also, for the fans that saw me on The Voice, I'm almost done with an As Seen on TV album. So everything I did on the show is going to be released. You'll get the full versions of the songs, and we're going to do them my way this time around.
Well, so how can people follow along with you and find all this stuff?
I'm all over the place. Yeah. All music platforms is just Peyton Kyle. All my social medias at I am Peyton Kyle. And recently I just revamped my YouTube channel.
Awesome.
One of the great things about playing locally to here is there's a lot of folks in the industry that are around. John Hopkins, who plays with the Zach Brown Band, who has ALS. Everybody keep him in his prayers. He does a tremendous job of working with the artists in town like me, the smaller guys. And so we did a live studio session of all my originals. That's out right now on YouTube that you can go check out. So
all right, go check it out right now. And cheers to Quiet Fire. Cheers to you. Cheers to the rooftop. Thank you. Did
anybody say anything about that? Can we get?
No. Let's hear it. Let's hear your professional opinion. I mean, I was really, I feel like volume is really what I bring to the party.
I was locked in doing my job while you
were. I'll just say I don't worry about keys and pitch. All right, for me it's about volume. It's about being heard.
When somebody tells you they don't worry about keys and pitch, that means they can't sing harmonies as well.
You know what? I'm done with you, and I'm going to walk over here and just say that everybody come Memorial Day weekend. Summer is here. Cheers to the rooftop.
And I'm sure Paul sounds a lot better with a drink in his system, so we should come back to him in a little bit and see if that alcohol helped a little bit to make him sound better from a musical standpoint. Let's continue on this Friday afternoon. If you've looked at the calendar, you know that not only is it Memorial Day weekend, it's also a big weekend up in Indiana with the Indianapolis 500. It's the greatest spectacle in racing, and it's just 2 days away. The race is sold out for the second year in a row, and fans from across the world are starting to pour in to Indiana for this. Fox's Kaylee Schuyler is live from the racetrack. And Kaylee, we checked in with you at 11 o'clock, and it was so hard to hear you, which means there's a lot of action going on. Today's going to be a busy day there.
Yeah, Tyler. Early you couldn't hear me because thick of carb day was happening. It was the driver's last practice before the race on Sunday, but I'm sure you can still hear everything that's kind of going on around me. There are people just everywhere. Now, there was a bit of a somber tone when everyone was first getting going this morning because they found out the news that NASCAR driver Kyle Busch had passed away. And I was able to talk to IMS and IndyCar president Doug Bowles about this, and he says he actually had been texting Kyle over the last couple of years, and Kyle said he wanted to run the Indy 500.
He was one of those folks that loved the sport and actually wanted to run the Indy 500 sometimes. Saw his brother Kurt do it, and I think that made him want to do it as well. So we've been in communication off and on over the last couple of years about how do we get him to do the double. So a little shocking, and it's really sad. As young as he is and as competitive as he still has been, we're all pretty still shocked and surprised.
So hopefully, as long as the weather holds up, around 350,000 fans will be lining up to watch the 110th running of the Indy 500 on Sunday. But fans are mixed on who they want to win. But Alex Palou is a favorite. He's the defending race champion, and he's starting from the pole position, which is at the front of the racing grid. He's also won the last 3 IndyCar Series championships. Now, the campground outside Indianapolis Motor Speedway is also starting to fill up. It's not the most luxurious accommodation, but some fans have been coming for decades. I was able to catch up with a father and son who have really the best camping spot in the house. They could throw a rock from their RV and hit IMS. They've made it a tradition to come every year, and they say they are nervous about the forecast for race weekend, but they're pretty much pros at this point, and they have a whole haul of mulch and sandbags in case their camp starts to flood.
4 or 5 years ago, we had a pond here, and the only thing we were missing was a fishing pole for him. So that's why we're kind of preparing for that, getting some flood mitigation in place. But that's the thing about being race fans and camping is you got to just roll with the punches.
Okay, Tyler, and I want you all to pay attention to what's starting to happen behind my shoulder here. So, last year was the inaugural Oscar Mayer Weenie 500, and it was a hit with the fans. So they brought it back this year. It's about to start in about 13 minutes, and I think fans are more excited for this Weenie 500 than they were for the practice earlier.
Oh my God, I can see the hot dogs behind you.
Yep.
If only we would take you in 15 minutes, we could show everyone this, but
I know.
That looks like it's going to be a fun thing for everyone to see. No wonder everyone's sticking around.
Exactly. They want to see. They're more excited about this.
Kaylee, can I ask you a quick question? Obviously, the weather is going to play a role in all of this. What's the expectation that it could get rained out? Is that a possibility?
So it is a possibility, but it'll just continue to get moved. So these cars, the Indy cars, cannot race at all when it starts to rain. So even if they're in the middle of the race and there starts to be some precipitation, it has to stop. And I don't know exactly about all the technology, but they have some like very fast drying system that can help dry off the track and some of the tires. But this thing could keep getting pushed, and they'll finish it whenever they can have a full dry race.
Yeah, you had to make sure you specified the Indy cars, not the Wienermobiles behind you, because those could probably race in the rain.
Yes.
Hey, Kaylee, thank you so much thank you so much for a look inside the Indy 500, just 2 days away, and it's going to be airing on Fox 5. We still have a lot more ahead here for Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We'll be right back. It's a weekend of food and fun in Kennesaw, and what better way to enjoy Memorial Day weekend than eat? So, of course, we had to send our Chris Rosenthal over to enjoy all the food truck fun in Kennesaw. Chris, what can you tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm here at the Foodie Fest here in Kennesaw. You know, they had one of these last week in Lawrenceville. This one's even bigger. We got a variety of food trucks here, a variety of vendors here. I'm actually going to swing around and talk to Maya here. She is one of the organizers. And hey, Maya, so tell us, what do people have in store here all weekend if they come to the Foodie Fest here?
So we have like last week, we have crafters, we got food trucks, we have a lot of different vendors from last week. We have some that were going to be here from last week, but not a lot. Most of these are going to be locals. just come out and shop just like you did last week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a variety of things. We got seafood here behind us. We've got Greek food. We've got chicken. We've got burgers, and we have cheesecakes, and we have
Barkley's Barbecue straight out of Philly, y'all. We doing this. Town and Cobb, baby, over here. Chilling with Foodies Fest. We're here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're here from 11 to 9 today. 1 to 9 today, 11 to 9 tomorrow, 11 to 7 on Sunday. This is some of the food that we have. Ribs, chicken.
Falling off the bone.
Falling off the bone. We slinging meat over here, guys. We got a beef brisket baked beans. We got a 6-cheese smoked macaroni and cheese. Collard greens with smoked turkey. We got a honey-based sweet Thai chili sauce shrimp for you guys. A pulled beef brisket sandwich. Watch this. I'm going to bring this out.
And he's grilling. They're grilling up here. They got lots of smoke. I tell you, it's gonna be smoky here.
This is a rib and a chicken with a smoked macaroni and cheese, guys, and collard greens. Come over here and see how we work this magic. Follow me. We got Stan the Man over here, y'all, a.k.a. the Beast. He's over here slinging the meat, guys. This is how it goes down. Foodies Fest. You got to get here, guys. All weekend long.
Wow, all right. So, yeah, come on out. Lots of barbecue here. Plenty of barbecue. Man, the smells good. I tell you, it is smoky.
And this is for you.
Oh, wow, for me. Okay.
I'm jealous of you back at the studio. This one is for you.
Well, maybe I'll leave some for him back at the studio for sure. Can't wait to give it a try.
But come on out and see us. We got plenty to go.
Of course. So, yeah. So, lots here. Lots going on. Lots of food. Lots of vendors. Stuff for the kids. Stuff for adults. Again, they're here till 9 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock from 11 to 9 tomorrow, 11 to 7 on Sunday, rain or shine. So again, this is in Town Center Mall here in Kennesaw.
Chris, I have to say that looked amazing. What was it? The brisket baked beans. I'm really jealous. I was talking to Ariel a minute ago while you were talking, and I said, I think we need to clear him from the 2 and the 3 o'clock so he can bring us food so we can try it, because that looks amazing. How many food truck vendors are there?
Oh, yeah. There are about 80 or so here. You know, I think I may actually just try while I'm here, if that's okay.
I need a fork.
Yes,
Bernie.
do it.
So, yeah.
Come on, here, I'll talk for you.
Never mind. He's going in barbecue
Look
style.
at that. An action shot. You know it's good when it's, it looks like you have a little bit of barbecue sauce on your lip. You know it's good.
Yeah.
How is it?
The sacrifices I make, you know. I mean, this is tough. Tough assignment today, you know.
Buc-ee's this morning. Now you're at a food truck festival. I don't think your Friday on Memorial Day weekend can get any better. Did you get anything at Buc-ee's while you were up there?
Yeah. I got a sandwich up there too. So yeah. So I'm pretty full, you know. But so.
I can't wait to see what else you do on. Chris, thank you so much. And can you just give us the final details? If people saw you eating that, where can they go out in the Kennesaw to be able to do this and take part? And then what's the timing for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Town Center Mall. Can't miss it. It's in the parking lot. They got big space here. It goes till 9 o'clock tonight, 11 to 9 tomorrow, and then 11 to 7 on Sunday as well. So rain or shine. I know we're expecting some showers, but they say rain or shine, they'll be here all weekend.
Chris, I'm doing you dirty right now on the left side of your cheek. So on camera right, I can see the barbecue sauce just above the beard there. Just other side. Yep, it's just right there. Thanks so much for the look inside this. We'll see you again for Fox 5 News Live at 2 and 3 o'clock. Chris, thanks again. We still have a lot more ahead for the news at 2 and 3. Ariel Onstadt and Tom Haynes are preparing right now with all the top headlines and things you need to know, including a boil water advisory and other breaking news that we're following. The news continues after this.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here. It is great to see and have you here on our Friday afternoon. We have finally made it to the weekend. So let's get into some news we're following here in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. We've actually got a lot of things to talk about for a Friday, and I want to start with the boil water advisory that is underway in the downtown corridor here in Atlanta because of a power failure at a plant. And this power failure happened at the Hemphill Water Treatment Plant. So out of an abundance of caution, city officials decided to put that boil water advisory in place. All residents and property owners who experience water outages or low water pressure are advised to boil that water for at least 1 minute before use. Now, this advisory is going to remain active until they are able to complete their sampling protocols and clear that water for usage to make sure there is nothing wrong and they're able to lift the advisory. So one thing that they do say is that water should be boiled for a minute past a roiling boil before being used for any of the following activities: drinking, cooking, preparing baby food, or brushing teeth. And especially if you have an infant or someone with an autoimmune deficiency or immune deficiency, make sure to boil that water. So we'll continue to keep you updated as this moves forward, but it is through the downtown corridor is the area affected. So just to keep you that in mind. But it is Memorial Day weekend. The holiday weekend is upon us, and I'm curious, are you guys flying to any destinations, driving to any destinations? What does that look like? Will the cost of gas cause you to scale back on any Memorial Day plans this year? Are you going to stay put? The unofficial start to summer is already here, and temperatures aren't really the only things heating up. We've seen stubborn fuel costs burning holes in many people's wallets. Millions of Americans are expected to travel for this long holiday weekend, and while some people have decided not to travel as a result, others are adapting their desires to not strain their budgets. High fuel prices are confronting millions of people, and AAA expects 45 million people are going to trek at least 50 miles from home between Thursday and Monday. The Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy predicts Americans will collectively spend an extra $3.5 billion on gas over this long holiday weekend. So we also know airfares are a bit elevated. The latest consumer price index revealing they were more than 20% higher in April compared to a year ago, driven in part, of course, by those fuel costs. So that is something that we will keep an eye on. And one thing I want to do as we talk about Memorial Day travel and what to expect, let's go out live to Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport to get a check of TSA lines and how things are looking. Ray Urena joins us live now. Ray, it is great to see you. How are things looking on this Friday afternoon?
Yeah, right now, Ariel, the lines are at about 10 minutes here at the main checkpoint. But throughout the day, since we got here this morning, we've seen them fluctuate. We saw them as low as 5 minutes when we first got here at about 10:30 in the morning, up to about 30 minutes about an hour or so ago. That's obviously gone down once again. I just want to show you exactly what we're seeing here at the main checkpoint. It's just kind of been the story. Gate agents here at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, have been kind of trying to balance the lines in between this main checkpoint and a north checkpoint. That's kind of what we have been seeing throughout the day. But like you just said, Ariel, about 45 million Americans, AAA says, are expected to travel more than 50 miles this holiday weekend from Thursday to Monday. And the airport says they expect today, Friday, to be their busiest travel day of the weekend, with about 379,000 travelers that are expected to pass through the airport, and about 2.7 million travelers passing through overall just from this weekend alone. And we have talked to passengers earlier today, and they told me a wide range of things. Some are going to go see family that they haven't seen in a while. Others are just trying to get away for the weekend because they don't get a lot of downtime from work, and they just are using this weekend to relax and reset. But we also heard from passengers that they have shown up 3-4 hours early just because they are still thinking about the lines that we saw at this airport, at this checkpoint just a couple months ago when the partial government shutdown from DHS was still going on. They were not their flights, even though wait times have remained pretty low. But there's also another concern that we heard from travelers, and that's all the rain that we've been seeing. We talked to one traveler who's flying home to Louisville to see her niece's graduation from school. Take a listen to what she said.
When I come back, I hope that it's a smooth flight. I was scared today that it was going to be raining for takeoff, because last week I was supposed to go to Fort Lauderdale and it was got delayed twice. So I was hopeful that today it wouldn't be rain. So when I come back, it's supposed to be rain. So hopefully it's smooth.
Smooth sailing, so to speak. And TSA is also reminding people that they need to have a real ID with them when they go check into the airport. If not, they will have to pay a $45 fee just to get through airport security, Ariel.
Really good to know, Ray. I think about people who maybe are traveling for the first time to see family in quite some time this holiday weekend, and so it's important. Make sure you have a real ID, you have everything you need, so you don't have to pay any fees, and so you are prepared. Ray, good to see people moving smoothly behind you. We'll stay tuned to you if anything changes, and I know we'll see you again later this evening. So Ray Urena, thanks so much for joining us live. As we continue along, you guys, I want to keep you updated on some headlines we're following here in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. As of right now, 2 armed and dangerous murder suspects are believed to be here in the Atlanta area, and I want to take you through what police are looking for, because Floyd County authorities believe 2 suspects from separate homicide investigations are currently in the run right here in Atlanta. I'd like to get into each of their cases here really quickly while you take a look at their mugshots. One thing the Floyd County Sheriff's Office is asking is that if you were to see either of these men, you contact 911 immediately. They are wanted in connection to 2 entirely separate investigations, but officials have received information that indicate they may both be hiding here in the Atlanta area. One of the men is 25-year-old Chancellor Lamar Crawford. He is described as a black male standing 6 feet tall and weighing 170 pounds. And according to the Sheriff's Office, Crawford is accused of shooting and killing 22-year-old Chancellor Jabez Donaldson. That happened on April 19th of this year at about 1 a.m. inside a shopping plaza in North Rome. Crawford faces a long list of active charges, including assault and battery, among others. And then, as it relates to the search for the second inmate, Travanse Srijan Burge, he is the second wanted individual and is 23 years old. He's described as a black male standing 5 feet 4 inches and weighing 120 pounds. Investigators accuse Burge of shooting and killing an 18-year-old Adam Taylor Hernandez. And that shooting happened October 21st of last year around 5 a.m. on Wood Creek Way in a residential street. He is currently wanted on the following charges, including murder, aggravated assault, and battery, among others. So if you see these men, contact police immediately. I also want to let you know that police are sounding the alarm about a potential serial rapist, and they say this man could be wanted for crimes here in Georgia and in Ohio. Right now, they're seeking victims from both states regarding this attack. The 22-year-old man has actually been arrested in Cobb County, and police want to know if more victims have information, and they're asking them to come forward. Most recently, police say this 22-year-old man, Jamal Palmer of Austell, attacked a woman there in Austell, and detectives believe there are more victims here across Georgia and Ohio. You're taking a look at the house where police believe a violent break-in happened April 29th. Court documents show the man forced his way inside a woman's home, punched, choked her, and then pulled her into a bedroom and ultimately raped her. Now, the attacker held the woman captive there in her hours, neighbors say, before they saw police arrive. And you're seeing some really disturbing words there from those court documents confirming what police have told us. But investigators now believe Palmer has committed multiple crimes spanning 4 years and crossing state lines. Further, officials note that some of these victims might be Hispanic and could be hesitant to speak with law enforcement. I'd like to let you take a listen to what one of the investigators with Cobb County Police had to say about this incident.
Investigation, they discovered that there may be other victims of rape by this subject dating back to 2022 and in jurisdictions within Georgia as well as Ohio. Make sure that we get justice for the victims and or get the victims services and support that they need.
tough situation, a lot of difficult details about this investigation. But if you have any information, if you know of someone who could be a victim from this man, you are asked to call Cobb County Police or any police in your jurisdiction immediately, since now police believe he may be guilty across multiple states. Let's talk about another story we're following here involving an inmate who could be released decades after an attack in Decatur. This is something that we're following closely because a state board is reviewing the case of an inmate who's currently serving a life sentence to determine if he should be granted parole for a deadly attack back in 1981. Family members of a surviving victim have expressed fear and outrage after receiving notice that this man, Lapis Favors, is under consideration for a work release program. Now, the former prosecutor is urging authorities to deny this inmate's release, stating that the heinous nature of this murder, which happened in a Decatur park, warrants permanent confinement. This is something we're going to continue to keep an eye on. It all stems from a violent incident back in 1981, like I mentioned. The charges coming from that death at Glen Lake Park in Decatur, 2 working mothers had just finished eating lunch and had returned to their car when they say men grabbed them. Police say men grabbed them. The attackers opened the car doors on both sides, dragged the woman to the woods, and unleashed a vicious assault. I won't go into all of the disturbing details. You can read them for yourself on fox5atlanta.com. But police are now sounding the alarm along with prosecutors, talking a little bit more about this case and saying that this inmate, one of the men involved, should not be released. So we'll continue to keep you updated as that moves forward. The state board has not announced a final decision or provided a timeline for that review, but we will monitor it as always and keep you updated as that moves forward. I also want to let you know about a story that a lot of people here in the Midtown Atlanta area can recognize well here. Let's take a look at this video. You have probably seen this high rise in the Midtown area. Incredible to think that for the past few years, it's been tall, it's been neglected, it has not been filled in, especially when we've seen so much development happen in mid and downtown Atlanta areas, especially ahead of the World Cup. But a recent inspection of this abandoned 20-story high-rise structure in Midtown Atlanta has flagged multiple safety hazards, saying that the conditions are unsafe for the public. According to official city inspection records, they say that this building is going to affect public safety, they believe, and it sits at the intersection of Peachtree Street and 14th Street. And you can see the interior and exterior have really been gutted. But according to the Department of Planning, building permits issued for the construction at this site have expired as of October of last year. It's surrounded by a construction barrier, and the inspection revealed that the perimeter contains 3 separate unsecured areas. The report notes that these gaps create unsafe conditions by allowing people access, potentially unauthorized access, to get into this abandoned property. So we're going to continue to keep you updated as it moves forward, because it is interesting to see a building like this here in the Midtown area that has not been significantly developed or moved forward in any meaningful way here in the past few years. So we will keep you updated as to how that shakes out. In the meantime, I'd like to bring you back here to studio. We've got Kevin Stewart with us. And Kevin, taking a look at that building in Midtown, seeing how gutted it is, especially ahead of the World Cup, is kind of jarring. But what's more jarring right now, I know you've been speaking with health officials about Ebola and some of the risks ahead of the World Cup. What are they saying about those risks and how are they handling them?
Well, the big picture is that they're saying that people should not be terribly concerned, but people are monitoring this because this is particularly important here in the United States and Atlanta because really the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is the epicenter of this most recent outbreak, their soccer team is coming here to the United States. They'll be arriving in Texas in the Houston area to train. I believe it's around June 10th. Their first game is in Houston on June 17th. And then they'll be playing here in Atlanta on June 27th. Now, the significance of that is the fact that we've got the CDC has set up some restrictions, travel restrictions for people who are non-citizens arriving here in the United States. It's going to be in place for about 30 days. If you have been in that country in the last 21 days, you will be restricted from arriving here in the United States. Now, the CDC held a news conference this morning, and they talked a little bit about this. We've been talking for a couple days, actually, for with some healthcare experts, people who are very familiar with Ebola. And the 21 days is significant because usually if you have Ebola, you're going to see the signs probably within a week to 2 weeks. So that's why that 21 incubation period is really important. I want to play a little bit of sound from that news conference that took place this morning.
These guidances are relevant for individuals that may have been in the affected regions within the past 21 days. So I think that is the first point. And then based on that, there will be subsequent decisions based on the types of activities and where they were in transit before any discussion. And of course, coordination with the ministries, with FIFA, and across the U.S. government.
Now, we also had a chance to talk to a virologist with the Morehouse School of Medicine who has been studying Ebola for decades. Ebola actually was first discovered in the DRC back in the 70s, and he's been working on a vaccine. And bottom line, he says this is going to be really focused on supporters coming from the DRC coming to the United States, not so much the soccer team. The soccer team, most of their players actually are playing in Europe. And there was going to be a big party, a send-off for them back in the DRC, but they canceled that. So the White House and the CDC says that they're trying to get them into the country safely. But the concern is going to be people who are residents of that country. And because of these restrictions, non-citizens who've been there in the last 21 days, you can't get into the United States. We talked to that expert with the Morehouse School of Medicine. Here's what he had to say.
The one that's happening right now in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and Western Uganda is called Bundibugyo. Because in 2007, it started first in Bundibugyo City in a district, Bundibugyo, in Western Uganda. That's where it got its name. So it's a virus that has not caused as many outbreaks, but it has caused outbreaks in the past. And the first one was about a little over 100, and the next one was a few dozen. But this one is much bigger. It's over 500 cases so far.
What could account for that?
Well, like I mentioned, the time between the first Ebola discovery in 1976 of Ebola Zaire strain and the next one, it was almost 20 years. It was from 1976 to 1995. So we don't really know why there's so much time between outbreaks, and we don't know entirely how they occur. But, these viruses are carried in animals in the forest and by bats. And so there are known ways of transmission, but we don't know what is the start of an outbreak and why there's so much space in between.
The transmission or the ability for a human to pass it on to another human, more specifically, how does it generally transmit?
It's transmitted by body fluids, or close contact. The one that's happening right now in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and Western Uganda is called Bundibugyo. Because in 2007, it started first in Bundibugyo City in a district, Bundibugyo, in Western Uganda.
Graham says that we're safe and that we need to monitor things, but we are safe. We had a good conversation. We'll have more on that conversation coming up on Fox 5 News today.
Kevin, I appreciate how thorough you are in trying to get answers to this, because while the World Health Organization, the WHO, has said the risk globally is low, it is something that they are monitoring. And I feel because of the World Cup, it's another layer of concern why I feel we're paying a bit more attention to this than we normally would.
Absolutely.
And so we'll stay tuned to you later this evening. I understand that strain of this variant of Ebola is also what is causing it to be so severe, because there's no vaccine for this particular.
And they don't know as much about that. This is not the most common strain.
Okay, good to know. Kevin, thank you so much as always. I'll let you get back to gathering info. All right, guys, we're going to continue along here. I want to get you a national update here on some headlines we're following. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has resigned from her role as Director of National Intelligence. She has said she needs to step away as her husband battles cancer. She is the fourth cabinet official to depart during President Trump's second term. In her resignation letter, which she did post on X, she said, quote, "Unfortunately, I must submit my resignation effective June 30th, 2026. My husband, Abraham, has recently been diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer." Now, there had been rumblings that Gabbard would split with Trump after the president's decision to strike Iran, which caused some division within the administration. We saw Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, announced his resignation back in March, saying that he could not in good conscience back the war. Tulsi Gabbard is a veteran and former Democratic congresswoman from Hawaii who built her political name on her opposition to foreign wars. She became a Republican, ultimately going into President Trump's cabinet, but it put her in an awkward position when the United States joined Israel in launching an attack on Iran back in February. During a congressional hearing in March, which you're seeing some video of, her measured comments were notable for their careful non-endorsement of President Trump's decision to strike Iran. She repeatedly dodged questions about whether or not the White House had been warned of potential fallout from the conflict, including Iran's effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz. So this is something we're going to continue to monitor as her resignation, like you heard her say in that letter, would be effective in June. So we will keep you updated. But let's continue on. Speaking of the war with Iran, where do negotiations stand? I can tell you they're making progress, according to leaders, but gaps still remain. Pakistani mediators are meeting with Iranian officials in Tehran today. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says there are some good signs with these talks, but differences do remain over the Strait of Hormuz and Iran's enriched uranium, essentially its nuclear program. President Trump says he's willing to give the negotiations time, but has the military ready to resume strikes. And ultimately, Iran has kept the Strait of Hormuz closed for months, locking up about 20% of the world's oil. And Iran wants to create a toll system where commercial ships pay to travel the international waterway. So this is something that we will keep you updated on because, as we know, the other non-negotiable for President Trump is Iran giving up its nuclear ambitions, and he wants Iran to remove its enriched uranium altogether. With serious negotiations underway, the president is holding off on any strikes. But I'd like to let you take a listen to what Secretary of State Marco Rubio had to say.
A few weeks from now, Iran decides we don't care. We're going to keep the straits closed. We're going to sink any ship that doesn't listen to us or doesn't pay us.
Ultimately, a recent Fox News poll shows that while 65% of Americans believe the United States is winning the war, 60% of the country opposes it. Not sure how Fox News did that poll, given that if it was out of 100 or greater, given that they say 65% believe there's a winning and 60 say that the country opposes it. But in the meantime, we know that lawmakers have been reacting to a called-off war powers vote as it relates to an Iran war resolution. Just yesterday, Republicans called off a vote that may have passed a bill that would have forced President Trump to withdraw from the war in Iran unless he receives congressional approval. Now, the House had scheduled a vote on the war powers resolution, but GOP leaders reportedly declined to hold it after it became clear that Republicans did not have the support to defeat this legislation. The deferral comes as a sign that congressional support for the war with Iran might be slipping. House Republican leader Steve Scalise says the vote, however, was delayed to give absent lawmakers a chance to vote. Several representatives reacted to the dismissal Thursday. I'd like to let you take a listen.
Beyond time that we address this issue. Gas prices are $5. I'm getting calls in my office about people canceling their Memorial Day plans because they literally cannot afford to drive to their cottages in Michigan and celebrate, this weekend how they normally would.
It sounded like there was a lot of chaos on the floor, and then that vote got pulled.
Just decided not to pull it. Didn't have the votes. They knew this vote would had the vote to pass. As soon as we get back here, That vote has to happen. The question that they're going to be asked is, do you care about the American people? Do you care about the finances of the American people? The president clearly says he doesn't care about it. This is the third or fourth time that we've put it forward. It's not going anywhere. They can run, but they can't hide. And the American people's voices are going to be heard loudly and clear.
You were just listening to Democrat Gregory Meeks from New York, representative there, as well as Republican Ralph Norman from South Carolina, a Republican there from the House of Representatives. Now, I'd like to continue on and let you know that that vote will be rescheduled for June. Republicans in the Senate are also trying to secure votes to dismiss another war powers resolution, which was pushed through by Senate Democrats and 4 GOP lawmakers earlier this week. So we will continue to keep you updated on the war with Iran. In the meantime, coming up here, I'm taking a look at our timing. I want to make sure that we check in on your weather forecast ahead of the Memorial Day weekend. Doug Evans has that for you straight ahead. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here. As always, if you have questions on any of the stories we're covering today, you can always drop them in our chats on TikTok and YouTube, and I will work to answer if you have any questions or see what is happening. But in the meantime, I know a lot of you have plans this holiday weekend. It does look like it's going to be rainy here in North Georgia, a bit of an unsettled weather pattern. Meteorologist Doug Evans stepping in to give us the forecast for the weekend.
Hey everybody, if you're out and about this afternoon, you can expect those rain chances to really ramp up after the 6 o'clock hour. Before that, isolated showers. It becomes more concentrated in the evening hours. This is, like I said, just hit or miss showers throughout the afternoon. Not everybody's going to see some rain. More concentrated rain showers from 6 to 10. And so if you're out and about, or if you're traveling this evening after working all day and maybe you're getting out of town for the Memorial Day weekend, you can expect to run into some showers, especially as you travel down 75 south up toward the north. Not so much a problem. So we've got this frontal system that is stalled out over North Georgia. We add in some moisture coming up from the Gulf, and that is what's helping to fuel these storms this afternoon. And that's just a weather pattern that's going to continue all the way through midweek of next week. We're not going to get a break from that. In terms of what we can expect this this afternoon. Again, just isolated showers. Metro Atlanta seems fairly dry at this time, but as I was saying, all up and down the 75 corridor, you can expect to run into some rain showers. Down 85 heading the other way through Alabama. Same thing. If you're headed to the Gulf, you can expect some rain showers as well. Here's the 5 o'clock hour. Again, we see these isolated showers starting to move across North Georgia and especially central Georgia. And then, as I said, at the 8 o'clock hour, it just becomes more concentrated as you have this mass kind of moving through the state at that hour. And that's going to persist all throughout the evening hours. And then we get a break overnight and into tomorrow morning, looking fairly dry all the way up until about noon. And then we add that heat and humidity combination again, and that's when we start to fire up these isolated showers. Maybe even some thunderstorms or two in here. So you got to be on the lookout for that as well. Wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, heavy downpours, and even some lightning. Nothing in terms of severe weather like tornadoes or anything like that. That's not what we're looking at. But certainly where these storms happen, it's going to be rather intense at times. So then we're at Saturday evening. Again, the isolated showers just stay with us. We get a break overnight for into Sunday morning, and then it's just a repeat all the way into midweek. Here we are on Monday in the morning. Again, it's dry, and then the afternoon just falls apart again. Here's what we can expect in your 7-day forecast then. A 60% chance of rain today. Not everybody's going to see rain. Most of us probably will. The rain chances increase then after that substantially on Monday. Again, these are isolated events, so not everybody's going to see rain, but your chances of seeing rain are pretty dang good all the way through Monday. And then, like I said, we're just stuck in this weather pattern that continues all the way past midweek. Our low temperatures are down into the 60s. Our high temperatures are in the 80s. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
All right, Doug, thanks so much for keeping us updated as we head into this long weekend. Might have to try to catch the sunshine where we can get it. All right, so let's talk about Waymo here in Atlanta because they have paused services here across the nation, certain services, to make safety changes. And the flash flood on the downtown connector caused quite a headache for evening commuters here in Atlanta, but it also prompted a service disruption for Waymo. These autonomous vehicles have temporarily paused service here in the Atlanta area after one of those vehicles got stuck in floodwaters Wednesday. According to a Waymo spokesperson, the company is trying to develop and implement additional software updates to improve performance around flooded roadways. Ultimately, they say that the National Weather Service alerts came in after the flash flooding had already happened. So had the Waymos gotten those alerts from the National Weather Service, they would have responded and not been driving in the affected areas. But because those alerts came later, they were not able to respond to the conditions on the ground. So you saw one of those vehicles pretty much get flooded there on North Avenue. In addition, the robo-taxi company is also suspending services on freeways across the country. They say they're going to try to improve safety around construction zones as well as the flooded roadways. And they say that other operations will not be affected. The company recalled about 3,800 robo-taxis across the country earlier this month after an issue was found in the vehicles that potentially allowed them to enter roadways that were flooded with higher speed limits. So concerning, and as always, we'll keep you updated right here on Fox Local. But let's talk about artificial intelligence since we're already talking about autonomous vehicles. The Trump administration, or President Trump specifically, has canceled an executive order that would call on AI companies to share their AI models, most advanced AI models, with the government for review before they're launched publicly. This would be to ensure that the technology doesn't do more harm than good, but the president has canceled that executive order signing that would have called for that. University of Arizona graduates left no doubt about their opinion on artificial intelligence during a commencement ceremony speech by a former Google CEO, Eric Schmidt. They actually booed during his speech. They're worried about technology eliminating jobs like the 8,000 lost at Meta Wednesday as the company is pivoting more to AI. On Thursday, President Trump was supposed to sign that AI order that would grant the government the power to review models before their public release. But there's been growing unease among banks, utilities, and other companies companies who are worried about new AI models being able to find vulnerabilities in their systems and software and exploit it. So industry leaders are arguing that the government, though, needs to foster competition and not stifle it. This is where we're at, right? We're in an AI race with China. The president doesn't want to stifle competition, and he wants companies to be able to put out the best and brightest models to rival what China may have. The president says that we're beating China on this AI race, but other industries that are not in the AI sector, while seeing the virtues of AI and how it can help make jobs easier, are also concerned that these models could be used to exploit weaknesses and vulnerabilities, especially in banking and other systems. So that is something we're going to keep an eye on. But as for those entry-level job workers worried about their future, they're trying to figure out how to adapt and use judgment to determine where can they find the flaws in AI, because that seems to be really where you're going to be able to set yourself apart. Tech giant Cisco is another, cutting 4,000 jobs, citing AI spending as a priority. So really quickly, you guys, I also want to let you know, as it relates to your wallet, Kroger is going to lower its prices on thousands of items. This is ultimately as the new CEO, Greg Foran, is trying to regain market share from rivals like Walmart, Costco, and Aldi. So they're trying to see what they can do to get more customers to spend money at the Kroger stores. They plan to cut thousands of prices on products under the new CEO, and they're trying as well to use cost savings and operational changes to fund lower prices. So that is something we're going to keep you updated on as it moves forward. If you shop at Kroger, let us know if you start to notice those lower prices. Looking ahead, coming up here, we are going to take you out to talk about how you can help Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as well as trauma patients. There is a critical substance that everyone needs to survive, and there's a shortage of it. So how you can help, coming up. Welcome back in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for being here live with us on your Friday afternoon, getting a check of the news as you head into your long weekend. Hopefully you have a long weekend. Some people here in our chat commenting, talking about how they can't believe they're watching the live news on TikTok. Well, it's great to have you. We are everywhere to make it easy for you guys. So we are going to talk now about something that is really important, and a substance that is critical. There is a shortage of it. You and I make it, and victims victims of trauma and children need it. Maria Guzman joins us live to talk about how we can help lessen the blood shortage. So Maria, great to see you. Tell us about what's happening today.
Hi, Ariel. Yes, I'm in Marietta, where there is a blood drive to help increase Atlanta's blood shortage. And it's been a very successful blood drive. At least 30 people have come in and donated, and there's about an hour wait. So a lot of people have showed up, from first responders all the way to neighbors. I do want to give you guys a full look. There's even some people that are waiting in the grass to be called just so they can do their part. But this is all hosted by LifeSouth, and LifeSouth works really closely with local hospitals and even 7 different EMS agencies, and they do a great job in equipping those first responders with blood supply, so when they're responding to calls on the field, they have it with them. So I did speak to Cobb County Fire about this partnership and how it's just game-changing for them. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
I want you to imagine someone that may have been involved in a motor vehicle accident or was hit by a car or some other type of major trauma, and they're literally bleeding out. Back in the past, the only thing we could do is replace that volume with saline fluid. And saline fluid isn't, can't carry oxygen to tissue like what's really needed when someone's literally bleeding to death. We've been able to save dozens of lives right here in Cobb County by being able to give them blood minutes before they could have gotten it in a hospital.
How are you guys working closely with LifeSouth?
We've had an amazing partnership with LifeSouth. We were actually having a hard time getting blood in the pre-hospital environment until we partnered with LifeSouth, who was able to provide us with the units that we need to save lives.
The blood that they give you guys, where does that go, at least for your team?
Sure. For Cobb County, we have one unit right in the center of the county that has a cooler that contains the blood. They get dispatched out to any major emergency, anything where we think someone might need the blood, they get dispatched and sent right away.
Just walk me through, some scenarios where you have seen that blood supply, having access to that, has saved someone's life.
Absolutely. There's 2 incidents that come to mind right away. We had a gentleman who got hit by a car right in the center of the county. He was literally clinically dead on the street, and our team was able to revive him using pre-hospital blood. Another time we had a 13-year-old hit by a van up in North Cobb County, and his life was also saved by early pre-hospital blood delivery.
How does having blood with the EMS on the field save a life instead of waiting and having the victim be transported to a hospital?
Sure. Just imagine the time difference and that could go by. Someone who, let's say, gets hit by a vehicle now could be receiving blood in a matter of minutes instead of waiting until help got on the scene, that person got loaded into an ambulance and taken to an emergency room. And even after they get to an emergency room, there's a delay in trying to get that blood on board. So we've done some studies, and we're showing that we get blood in patients in about half the time it normally takes. Blood only comes from one place. We're not making blood. It comes from people who are donating it to organizations like LifeSouth. It's the only place we can get it, and it's absolutely necessary to save a life. In Cobb County, the unit that carries the blood and delivers it to the field is a team called MedOps. They're specially trained paramedics who have had additional training to give blood transfusions. They exist right in the center of Cobb County, and they get dispatched out to all incidents where we think that someone might be bleeding to death or having some other type of bleeding emergency.
Yes, and right before someone donates blood here, they do undergo a quick mini physical, and that's just to check your iron level and your blood pressure and just make sure that you are safe to donate. And they're looking for all types of blood, but specifically type O blood. That's the blood that they use especially during those traumatic calls and emergencies. Ariel.
Maria, so good to know. Thanks for educating us on how we can get involved. It is so important. Maybe one day they will find a way to create synthetic blood or use stem cells, who knows? But in the meantime, obviously a donation can help save someone's life. So Maria Guzman, thanks so much for being here with us. I'll let you get back to it. And seeing some of your comments here in the chat, one of you saying you're a little too hefty to donate, but I'm sure you might have someone in your life you could convince to give blood, or maybe, who knows, maybe at some point in your life you'll be able to, but nice that you're thinking about it. Okay, so let's talk. Earlier this week, we had a one-on-one. Our Deidre Duke sat down with Rick Jackson. He's the Republican, one of the Republican gubernatorial candidates, meaning he is a Republican running for governor of Georgia. And she also sat down with our current Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who is also running for governor of Georgia. And both gentlemen, Rick Jackson and Burt Jones, are headed to a runoff in the Republican primary. It's a pretty high stakes runoff. After a brutal primary night, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones secured the top spot, but fell short of that critical 50% mark in order to move forward to the midterm elections. So Jones faces a fierce challenge from political newcomer and healthcare billionaire Rick Jackson, who poured nearly $100 million of his own wealth into campaigning as a political outsider. The two men are now going to face off on a June 16th runoff to decide the GOP ticket for governor. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes spoke one-on-one today with the lieutenant governor about the road ahead. Take a listen.
I've been the lieutenant governor for the last 4 years. I've served right beside Governor Kemp. The state of Georgia has had a lot of successes in the last decade, quite frankly, and I'd like to see the state of Georgia continue to grow and continue to prosper, and we're going to have to do that by doing things like some of the things we've been doing the last few years, lowering the state income tax, capping property taxes. We need to do more on getting rid of property taxes for homeowners. We need to continue to invest in education and continue to invest in people's ability to access healthcare facilities here in this state, as well as economic development and workforce development. Those are all things that I've been working on, want to continue to work on, because the state of Georgia is the envy of a lot of other states here in this country.
Well, Jones is a stalwart Trump ally who has the endorsement of the president, pitches himself as the proven statewide leader, and is arguing his experience makes him the best to take on Democrat Keisha Lance Bottoms in November. Keisha Lance Bottoms, as you guys know by now, is going to be the Democratic contender for governor here in the state of Georgia. So we will keep you updated on that runoff on June 16th. In the meantime, let's talk about the new Federal Reserve Chairman who was sworn in today. This is Kevin Warsh, who was sworn in by President Trump. And ultimately, the Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas administered the oath of office to Warsh today, with his wife, Kevin's wife Jane, holding the Bible. Today's ceremony marks the first time in nearly 40 years that a Fed chair has been sworn in at the White House. So you can see one of the justices, Supreme Court Justices, Clarence Thomas, administering that oath. Warsh is going to replace Federal Reserve Chair, former Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, whose term ended May 15th. Powell often clashed with President Trump over interest rates, but he is set to remain on the board until January 2028. I'd like to let you take a listen to Kevin Warsh and what he had to say during his discussion with the president. I don't know if we have sound from Kevin Warsh specifically, but we'll continue to keep you updated. Maybe we'll go in here real quick and just take a listen.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
The duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Our mandate at the Fed is to promote price stability and maximum employment. When we pursue those aims with wisdom and clarity, independence and resolve, inflation can be lower, growth stronger, real take-home pay higher, and America can be more prosperous. and no less important, America's place in the world more secure. To fulfill this mission, I will lead a reform-oriented Federal Reserve, learning from past successes and mistakes both, escaping static frameworks and models, and upholding clear standards of integrity and performance.
So like I mentioned, we know that
my goal now is to create an environment in which the best people can do their life's best work, and to face every challenge in the spirit of common purpose and devotion to the national interest. In a word, to excellence. These duties are now mine, Mr. President, because of the trust you have placed in me. I accept them with gratitude.
Okay, so you were listening as Kevin Warsh was sworn in by President Trump earlier today, and you got to hear some of his remarks after he was sworn in there, as you can see, by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. He is going to replace former Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, who left on May 15th, but Jerome Powell still will sit on the Federal Reserve Board until January of next year. So will interest rates be lowered under this new chair and this current board? That remains to be seen, but as always, we will keep you updated. Coming up, you guys, I'd love to take you out to a big foodie festival ahead of the holiday weekend. If you're looking for something to do, this is the biggest food truck festival in Kennesaw, one of the biggest in our area, and our Chris Rosenthal is going to take us there coming up. Well, welcome back in, everyone. I'm Arielle Unstadt. Thanks so much for being here. If you're just now joining here on Fox Local, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you may be watching us, Roku, I do want to let all of you know that we've talked about the weather forecast already for the holiday weekend. It's going to be rainy. You might catch some patches of sunshine, but I just want to give you that update as you begin to prepare for what you can do. But if you catch a break in the rain, hey, maybe you won't let the rain get you down over the weekend. You could head out to Kennesaw, where a huge food truck festival is underway. Our Chris Rosenthal joins us live from Kennesaw. Chris, great to see you here.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm at the food festival here in Kennesaw. This is at the Town Center Cobb Mall parking lot. You can't miss it here. It's going on starting today. Goes till 9 and goes all weekend on Saturday and Sunday. You know, I had some barbecue here earlier in the 1 o'clock. We're gonna try a few other things here in a second. But I've got Maya here. She's one of the organizers here at the Foodie Fest. Tell me a little bit about what people can expect when they come out here. What kind of food, what kind of options we have out here?
So we have a bunch of different crafters. As you've seen, we have crystal, we got crochet, we got hats, blankets, we got t-shirts, there's a lot of jewelry vendors. Now food is where it gets exciting. We have a bunch of different cultures. We have Vietnamese, we have Asian, we got Latino, we got Greek, we got Hispanic. There's so many different types of foods out here. You should come out here.
Absolutely, and we got and barbecue, of course. I tried some of that earlier.
Yes,
seafood.
we all know that's the best.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, I had some barbecue, so I gotta have something sweet. So we're here at the we got some licorice ropes here, and I got Nate here. Tell me about all these licorice ropes. These are pretty fancy here, huh?
Yeah, we're Southern Sweet and Sour. We offer 18 different flavors of licorice ropes. They're all about 27 inches long. We have a selection of sweet flavors, sour flavors, traditional red and black, and even one spicy, chili mango.
Wow, how did you, why licorice? How did you get into that?
So I retired from the military, and my wife told me I needed to find something to do, and so I found this, and it gives me something to do every week. It gives me a great purpose. I get to come out, meet new people, and have fun.
Yeah, these are pretty special. These are pretty not what you get in the grocery store, huh?
No, definitely not. So all our licorice comes from Spain. It's made with natural sugar. There's no high fructose corn syrup in them, no artificial preservatives. You really taste the flavor.
Yeah, absolutely. All kinds of great things. Really colorful, really catches your eye. Kids must love this too, huh?
Definitely. We're a huge fan of families. They love it. We offer 5 and 10 packs as well as individual ropes. So you could customize your own package and get the flavors you want.
Awesome. Nate, thanks for joining us here. So yeah, I mean, lots going on here. You've got food, you got sweets, you got drinks. You can do some shopping here. You heard Maya say lots of different a variety. Different from different nationalities, different ethnicities. Oh, we got cookies and milk here. I mean, you could really come here and pig out here in the parking lot here at the Town Center Mall. This goes on all weekend. It goes on till 9 tonight, 11 to 9 tomorrow, and then 11 to 7 on Sunday, right? Some weather, rain or shine?
Yeah, we're rain or shine. If it's raining, grab your umbrellas. You better come on out. We don't care.
All right, still going to be serving, huh?
Yes.
Still going to be food. And this is big. There's about 80 or so vendors here, huh?
Yeah, there's about 80 some. There's probably a little bit more, but roughly 80.
Roughly 80. Yeah, they had one of these in Lawrenceville last week, and even bigger this week, huh?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So, lots to see and do, lots to come out. Rain or shine. So, we got some more food here: chicken, shrimp, lobster, lamb chops. A whole bunch of things here. So,
Chris, it looks delicious. I have to let you know, I'm here till 6 today. So if you want to bring me a treat, one of those candies looked amazing. I wouldn't argue with you, but I have to say, all of this looks incredible. And I'm glad it's not raining there right now. Looks like people are able to enjoy. So definitely a wonderful festivity there in Kennesaw. So Chris Rosenthal, thank you so much. We will continue to keep you updated as that moves forward. And guys, as we continue here at 2 o'clock, I am Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here live with us. We have more to come with Tom Haynes here at 3, so stay tuned.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom with the 3 o'clock streaming hour here on Fox Local. As we get set to celebrate the long Memorial Day weekend, we're going to check on your forecast in just a moment. Kind of a crummy day out there today. Question is that going to last through the weekend? We're going to check in with meteorologist Doug Evans here coming up shortly. But we are tracking a developing story out of Atlanta where a boil water advisory is now in effect for a large corridor of the downtown area. Power failure at a major treatment plant has prompted officials to warn residents to boil for 1 minute past a rolling boil, and this is what we're talking about, what that looks like. For more on the disruption and what this means, how long it might last, let's go to our Angelique Proctor, who's standing by live. Angelique, what more do we know?
Well, what a disruption, Tom. We started getting calls into the newsroom at 6 o'clock this morning about this. People having problems with their water in southwest Atlanta. Didn't know what to make of it, but then shortly thereafter, around 10 a.m., the city of Atlanta issued this boil water advisory, especially for the downtown area. And so that's when we started looking into it. The Department of Watershed Management does, in fact, tell us that it's due to an internal power failure that happened at the Hemphill Water Treatment Plant in Midtown. Now, the city says this boil water advisory is specifically for the downtown area, but that does cover some other parts of the city. It's being done out of an abundance of caution and in accordance with the Georgia EPD guidance. Now, they are asking those in the impacted areas to use bottled water or either boil your water for cooking, drinking, things like brushing your teeth, or definitely if you're preparing food for an infant. Now, we found some businesses here in Summerhill that were actually affected, having some problems. The owner of the Halfway Crooks Brewery said they had to make quite a few adjustments and are still boiling water at this hour.
That took me to a link, I think, to like an official site that showed the affected area, and we were inside that area. So at that point, we kind of took measures to clear, to do everything we can here safely. So we usually like rinse our beer glasses with water, so we turned those off immediately. We went to get ice at Publix. We just wanted to make sure we weren't serving anything to the public that wasn't safe. We have a big brew kettle here because we're a brewery, so we can boil around like 310 gallons at a time, and then we can cool it rapidly. So we kind of check all the boxes when it comes to the boil water advisory with like a really large boil kettle, so to speak. So then we can put it in a tank and use that water however we fit or however we need.
And so the brewery isn't the only business affected. We talked to the Little Tart Bake Shop. The manager there tells me they had to really cut their menu in half. She says they actually ended up throwing out coffee. They couldn't use iced coffee that was made, as well as drip coffee and even espresso. They, too, headed over to Publix and bought some ice. They say they've lost hundreds of dollars in inventory today. They are hopeful that the city will lift this ban as soon as everything is safe for everyone to drink the water. Tom?
That is reassuring, and maybe you talked about this, but it's worth repeating. How long do they expect that process to take? In other words, are we talking about into the weekend? Is it going to be handled, do you think, in the next couple of hours? Or are they just not giving you those kind of answers right now?
Right now, we don't have those kinds of answers. We've certainly posed the question, and we're waiting to hear from Watershed here over the next few minutes. So I'll have something as we continue to track this developing story at the most inopportune time, a holiday weekend.
Angelique Proctor standing by live for us in downtown Atlanta with coverage of this boil water advisory for the downtown corridor. Angelique, we'll see you coming up here later, and of course tonight on Fox 5 News at 4, 5, and 6. It is a massive travel weekend, so we're going to take you to live pictures now of Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, where things seem to be running smoothly right now. Airport officials expecting nearly 2.7 million passengers over the multi-day Memorial Day weekend travel window, and you can see what the situation there is like. Seems like the only thing that's going to slow down operations there at this point is the weather. I don't know if those are ominous clouds on the horizon or one of those rain curtains or what, Doug Evans will tell us here in just a couple of moments. Today is expected to be one of the busiest peak days of the entire period, with more than 370,000 travelers pacing toward their gates today alone. Remember, Hartsfield-Jackson is also a major transit hub. All right, perhaps the busiest, not only in the United States, but the world. So it's not only us here in Atlanta and North Georgia and surrounding areas that need to utilize this airport to get to where we need to go, but it's folks coming in from other parts of the country to connect to their outbound or inbound flights. So Hartsfield-Jackson is going to be a busy place. Despite those massive crowds, security checkpoints are moving surprisingly fast, with wait times dropping to under 10 minutes after topping out at about 20 minutes earlier today. You can always check those times on the TSA's website, or I believe they have a travel app where you can track wait times at TSA security checkpoints, not only here at our airport, but at airports wherever you are. The Floyd County Sheriff's Office is issuing an urgent warning today as they track two separate murder suspects believed to be hiding in the Atlanta area. Authorities say both men are considered armed and dangerous, and the public is strictly warned not to approach them if spotted. The first suspect is 25-year-old Chancellor Lamar Crawford, wanted for a deadly shooting in North Rome back in April. The second man at large is 23-year-old Trevance Burge, accused of shooting and killing 18-year-old last October. While both homicides are unrelated, Northwest Georgia investigators have received leads placing both fugitives right here in the metro Atlanta area. So they're asking you to take a good look at your screen here at both of these men. If you have any information on their whereabouts, you're urged to immediately call or text Floyd County investigators or 911. A Cobb County serial rape investigation has crossed state lines, we understand, as detectives track a suspect accused of assaulting multiple women across Georgia and Ohio over a 4-year period. 22-year-old Jamel Palmer of Austell currently in custody following a violent home invasion and attack late last month. Cobb County police say Palmer held a woman captive for hours before neighbors heard her screaming for help and called 911. Investigators now believe there are at least 3 victims dating back to 2022, but fear there are more women out there who have been targeted. Police note that some of the victims may be Hispanic and might be hesitant to speak with law enforcement.
During the detectives' investigation, they discovered that there may be other victims of rape by this subject dating back to 2022 and in jurisdictions within Georgia as well as Ohio. Make sure that we get justice for the victims and or get the victims services and support that they need.
Authorities stress that their priority is protecting victims regardless of the situation, and they urge anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers or call 911. A horrific 1981 Decatur Park attack is back in the spotlight as a state board considers parole and a work release program for one of the men convicted in that crime. The Georgia State Board of Pardons and Paroles is currently reviewing the case of La Paz Favors, who's serving a life sentence for murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. The charges stem from a vicious assault at Glen Lake Park that left Jean Boyce dead and Bayat and Miles severely beaten. The surviving victim's family learned of the development through a letter and says that the potential release has sparked complete panic and outrage. The former DeKalb County District Attorney who prosecuted the case strongly opposes the move, stating the heinous nature of the crime warrants permanent confinement. The state board has not announced a final decision or a timeline for when that they will review the case or draw any kind of conclusion. An abandoned 20-story high-rise in Midtown Atlanta is under scrutiny after a city inspection flagged multiple hazards at a busy intersection. Officials report the property at Peachtree and 14th Street is substantially gutted and has 3 unsecured gaps in its perimeter barrier, creating a risk of trespassing. It is an eyesore. The city also cited displaced concrete pavers inside the covered walkways, which have created major trip hazards for pedestrians in that area. Permits for the site expired last year, prompting Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens to issue a stern warning that he expects all developers to follow the law. The mayor says he will reserve further comment as the situation is likely to result in litigation. A massive brawl broke out at Benjamin E. Mays High School, the graduation ceremony, and it was all captured on camera. For a look at the chaos, let's go live to Larry Spruill on top of this story for us on this Friday afternoon. Larry?
And good afternoon, Tom. We are here on the Georgia Tech campus, and this is where family members are gathering to celebrate high school graduations for APS. Now, it's supposed to be a very joyous occasion, but it quickly shifted yesterday after that high school graduation. Let's take a look at that new video just into our newsroom. Now, you can see several people fighting a huge brawl outside of the complex at that Benjamin E. Mays High School graduation. Now, several witnesses tell me they were outside taking pictures with their family members when all of a sudden that huge brawl started. I did speak with one witness. She tells me this all happened within minutes.
First, I saw what I first identified as, people fighting. I didn't see any students at first, I'll be honest. I truly seen like regular civilian clothes people fighting. Children, of course, right? They all look young, young. And it wasn't until maybe seconds later I started to see what I identified as graduates fighting, because they had on cap and gowns and they had on the school colors. So that's, how I was able to identify them as graduates. And they were just fighting. I mean, it was girls, it was boys. I mean, you had parents trying to break it up, parents holding toddlers on their hips, trying to get them out of harm's way. Smaller kids, screaming for their parents because it was complete chaos.
And you just heard from her also, as part of that video, there was a woman holding a baby who was literally running out of the way, escaping the fists and the punches that were thrown. Now, I did reach out to APS as well. I'm working on that part of the story, all new tonight at 6. We're live on Georgia Tech's campus. I'm Larry Spruill, Fox 5 News.
Incredible video, Larry. So they're at Georgia Tech, where some of these graduation ceremonies are taking place. Obviously, this instance has come and gone, but I guess they're on a little bit of higher alert since these kinds of things are prone to happen.
Right, and so there's another high school graduation for APS that's happening right now, just right over there. And we did see extra security outside, APS security, Georgia Tech security, police officers are outside that arena as well. And I also spoke with a representative for Georgia Tech, and she just wanted to make sure that she says they're trying to make sure that nothing like that happens today. Again, this is supposed to be a very joyous occasion for family members and high school graduates. But yesterday, it quickly shifted, and that was not the case yesterday.
Yeah, it's a shame, because high school graduations are a time for celebration. It's a shame that this kind of overshadowed that, at least in the case of Benjamin E. Mays. Larry Spruill, live for us on the campus of Georgia Tech University, where some of these high school graduations are taking place. Larry, thanks. Health officials have raised the assessment risk of the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo to very high at the national level. More than 80 cases have been confirmed in Congo, with almost 750 suspected cases and dozens of deaths, we understand. The United Nations and the U.S. have pledged millions in combined emergency funds to accelerate the response and support containment efforts. Back in the United States, Americans returning from Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan will now be routinely processed through the Washington Dulles International Airport for CDC screening. The World Health Organization maintains the global spread risk remains low, at least for now. Let's talk about the negotiations as they pertain to Iran. Pakistani mediators are meeting with Iranian officials in Tehran today as high-stakes negotiations continue. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says that there are some good signs in the talks, but complicated differences remain over the blocked Strait of Hormuz and Iran's enriched uranium. Iran has kept the strategic waterway closed for months, choking off 20% of the global oil supply in an effort to enforce a toll system on commercial ships. President Trump demanding Iran abandon its nuclear ambitions and completely surrendered its highly enriched uranium supply.
We have to start thinking about what do we do if a few weeks from now Iran decides we don't care, we're going to keep the straits closed, we're going to sink any ship that doesn't listen to us or doesn't pay us.
Now, the president says that he's willing to give the negotiations some time, but warns the military is fully prepared to resume restructuring and resuming strikes if this happens to fail. Well, Republicans called off a vote Thursday that may have passed, forcing President Trump to withdraw from the war in Iran unless he receives congressional approval. The House had scheduled the vote on the War Powers Resolution, but GOP leaders reportedly declined to hold it after it became clear Republicans did not have the support to defeat the legislation. The deferral comes as a sign that congressional support for the war may be slipping. However, House Republican leader Steve Scalise said that the vote was delayed to give absent lawmakers the chance to vote. Several representatives reacted to the dismissal, with some Democrats saying they'll continue to push the bill forward until it is passed.
It is beyond time that we address this issue. Gas prices are $5. I'm getting calls in my office about people canceling their Memorial Day plans because they literally cannot afford to drive to their cottages in Michigan and celebrate, this weekend how they normally would.
It sounded like there was a lot of chaos on the floor, and then that vote got pulled.
Decided not to pull it, didn't have the votes. They knew this vote would pass. Had the votes to pass. As soon as we get back here, that vote has to happen. The question that they're going to be asked is, do you care about the American people? Do you care about the finances of the American people? The president clearly says he doesn't care about it. This is the third or fourth time that we've put it forward. It's not going anywhere. They can run, but they can't hide. And the American people's voices are going to be heard loudly and clear.
The House vote will be rescheduled for June. Meanwhile, Republicans in the Senate are also trying to secure votes to dismiss another War Powers resolution, we understand, which is pushed through by Senate Democrats and 4 GOP lawmakers earlier this week. We have news on NATO now, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio anxiously trying to get allies at the high-stakes NATO summit today to follow a major reversal in U.S. troop deployment. Just hours after rumors of the president's disappointment in the alliance, American officials announced 5,000 additional troops are headed to Poland. NATO foreign ministers welcomed the added security, but complained that the constant shifts are causing confusion and navigational challenges. NATO leaders say that the U.S. remains strongly in alliance, but emphasize that Europe must step up to take more responsibility for its own defense. The Department of War releases a second batch of what it calls, secret files regarding UFO sightings. The first batch was made public on May the 8th at the order of the United States President Donald Trump. The files include references to people reporting unexplained green orbs, discs, and fireballs. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth has officially called it, quote, unidentified anomaly phenomena. The files released contain 116 pages of documentation related to sightings reported in a top-secret facility in Sandia, New Mexico from 1948 to 1950. If you've looked outside and you happen to be in certain parts of the area, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that we want to tell you about in northern Banks County and northeastern Georgia. So as we take a live look outside through any one of our live cameras, you can see what we're talking about here in terms of the skies outside, a summertime sky out there, all right, with seemingly summertime-like temperatures, perhaps giving fuel to some of these thunderstorms that are breaking out. Again, the National Weather Service in Peachtree City issuing this severe thunderstorm warning for northern Banks County in northeast Georgia. You can see clouds on the rise over parts of downtown Atlanta. Meteorologist Doug Evans will be along shortly to talk about what the remainder of this Friday looks like and into the Memorial Day weekend when we come back. Welcome back, everybody, to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm your host, Tom Haines, with all of the news and information you need to know on this Friday afternoon, including the weather and that severe thunderstorm warning that the National Weather Service just issued not too long ago for northern Banks County and northeast Georgia. Looks like some clouds are on the horizon. Perhaps these pop-up summertime showers and thunderstorms are going to be a big part of not only today, but into the Memorial Day weekend. Here's meteorologist Doug Evans.
Hey, everybody, if you're out and about this afternoon, you can expect those rain chances to really ramp up after the 6 o'clock hour. Before that, isolated showers. It becomes more concentrated in the evening hours. This is, like I said, just hit or miss showers throughout the afternoon. Not everybody's going to see some rain. More concentrated rain showers from 6 to 10. And so if you're out and about, or if you're traveling this evening after working all day and maybe you're getting out of town for the Memorial Day weekend, you can expect to run into some showers, especially as you travel down 75 south. Up toward the north, not so much a problem. So we've got this frontal system that is stalled out over North Georgia. We add in some moisture coming up from the Gulf, and that is what's helping to fuel these storms this afternoon. And that's just a weather pattern that's going to continue all the way through midweek of next week. We're not going to get a break from that. In terms of what we can expect this afternoon, again, just isolated showers. Metro Atlanta seems fairly dry at this time, but as I was saying, all up and down the 75 corridor, you can expect to run into some rain showers. Down 85 heading the other way through Alabama, same thing. If you're headed to the Gulf, you can expect some rain showers as well. Here's the 5 o'clock hour. Again, we see these isolated showers starting to move across North Georgia and especially central Georgia. And then, as I said, at the 8 o'clock hour, it just becomes more concentrated as you have this mass kind of moving through the state at that hour. And that's going to persist all throughout the evening hours. And then we get a break overnight and into tomorrow morning, looking fairly dry all the way up until about noon. And then we add that heat and humidity combination again, and that's when we start to fire up these isolated showers, maybe even some thunderstorms or two in here. So you got to be on the lookout for that as well. Wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, heavy downpours, and even some lightning. Nothing in terms of severe weather like tornadoes or anything like that. That's not what we're looking at. But certainly where these storms happen, it's going to be rather intense at times. So then we're at Saturday evening. Again, the isolated showers just stay with us. We get a break overnight for into Sunday morning, and then it's just a repeat all the way into midweek. Here we are on Monday in the morning. Again, it's dry, and then the afternoon just falls apart again. Here's what we can expect in your 7-day forecast then. A 60% chance of rain today. Not everybody's going to see rain. Most of us probably will. The rain chances increase then after that substantially on Monday. Again, these are isolated events, so not everybody's going to see rain, but your chances of seeing rain are pretty dang good all the way through Monday. And then, like I said, we're just stuck in this weather pattern that continues all the way past midweek. Our low temperatures are down into the 60s. Our high temperatures are in the 80s. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
All right, Doug, you do the same. Thank you so much. Looks like a wet weekend ahead, and then really a wet week after the Memorial Day weekend. Waymo is suspending some of its services here in the metro Atlanta area after some safety issues. The robo-taxi company announcing that it is suspending service on freeways across the country and also pausing operations in Atlanta. The change is taking place as the company updates software in an effort to enhance performance around flooded roadways and construction zones. Not to mention, I mean, you saw the video earlier this week of the Waymos doing circles in one neighborhood, getting stuck seemingly on a cul-de-sac. Well, then it ran into the problem on the downtown connector and that flood. Waymo assuring customers street operations will not be affected. The pause also comes as the company recalled about 3,800 robo-taxis across the country earlier this month after an issue was found in the vehicles that potentially allowed them to enter flooded roads with higher speed limits. Wednesday's flash flood on the connector caused quite the headache for evening commuters, but it's also prompted a service disruption for Waymo. President Trump has canceled a signing ceremony for a highly anticipated executive order as it relates to AI, which would have granted the government power to review artificial intelligence models before public release. The proposed orders sought to compel tech companies to share advanced models with officials to ensure they do not cause harmful outcomes. However, the president says that he axed the order in order to avoid stifling competition and risking America's global tech lead over adversaries like China. The decision comes amid crushing job cuts in the tech sector, with Meta cutting 8,000 positions and Cisco shedding 4,000, largely to shift funding into AI infrastructure. While corporations worry next-generation AI could reveal critical software vulnerabilities, industry leaders encourage new graduates to embrace the technology to stay employed. Kroger is preparing to slash prices on thousands of grocery items as the company fights to win back budget-conscious shoppers squeezed by persistent inflation. The new CEO announced the strategy in response to increasing caution that consumer spending and economic uncertainty. The supermarket giant aims to regain critical market share lost to hard discount competitors and bulk retailers like Walmart, Aldi, and Costco. Kroger plans to fund the price reductions gradually by streamlining supply chain operations, directly importing merchandise, and cutting internal costs. Well, there is news on summertime plans, if you have them, and new measures in place to protect yourself from tick bites, we understand. As more people head outside to enjoy the warmer weather, health officials are urging people to watch out for ticks. The CDC reports a record number of visits to the emergency room for tick bites in April. That's the highest since 2017. Some ticks spread diseases like alpha-gal syndrome, where you develop a red meat allergy, and Lyme disease.
If someone's taken a picture of the tick, we can sometimes identify what kind of tick it is, and some carry human illnesses, some don't.
Typically, Lyme disease will start with a red bump where that tick was, and that red bump will start to expand and get bigger. And ticks can be very small and hard to spot, and especially checking your scalp or areas that are covered in hair, just because sometimes they can hide in there and you don't know that they're there.
What I would do with my own family is, if we're planning, know that we're going to be out in a wooded area or a grassy area. Just like we would carry our spray for mosquito-borne illness, we'll carry things that protect us both from mosquitoes and ticks.
Yeah, with ticks, body checks are really important too. In other words, if you're in an area prone to having ticks, at the end of the day, you got to check your body, essentially, for ticks. The smaller they are, the more dangerous they are. Like the big, fat, juicy ticks have a hard time boring into your skin. They're still dangerous, too. But the little tiny ones that are the size of a pinhead, really, are the most dangerous and the most prone to give you the diseases that we're talking about. Health officials say your best defense is wearing long pants and sleeves, bug spray, and showering after coming inside. And as I said, checking yourself for ticks. Let's talk about consumer sentiment. It is dropping to new lows at the end of this month, 44.8%, dropping from 49.8% in April. Higher gasoline prices and the continuing Iran conflict contributing to rising anxiety about inflation. A separate report from the Conference Board is predicting the economy will improve. Its leading economic index rose by 0.1% after a decline in March. The research group says that strong investment in artificial intelligence infrastructure, data centers, and energy production are expected to have a positive impact, though higher gasoline prices and energy costs and weak hiring are expected to also be a factor. We got still much more ahead here in the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local, so don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. A Haralson County family calling for urgent safety changes to a dangerous intersection just weeks after a woman was killed there on Mother's Day. For a look at the crash site and the family's push for action, let's get out to our Eric Perry standing by live at the scene. Eric, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, Tom, really an upsetting story here. A woman and her friend leaving church on Mother's Day. They were at this intersection. So this is Morgan Road and Highway 113 here in Haralson County. As they were pulling out, they were hit by another car that was coming down on Highway 113. Unfortunately, a woman, her name is Miss Shirley, did not survive. Her family told me earlier that she was killed here and died on the scene. Another woman, she was taken to the hospital. She's still in very serious condition there. Here's how this intersection is so bad here. This church, I talked with the pastor here. There are several law enforcement officers that attend this church service there. There have been so many accidents that they keep what they call a ready bag by the front doors here. So whenever they hear that distressing sound of a car accident, they're able to rush out, which is what they did on Mother's Day here. Unfortunately, again, that one woman did not survive. The other woman, both older in age, still in the hospital. We talked with both of their families. The daughter of Miss Shirley, that's the woman who did not survive, too emotional to talk with us. They stood in support of the Conrads, the husband and wife. Their mother is the one that's still in the hospital. Two different families, one goal: to get this intersection changed. Take a listen.
Mother-in-law. When I saw her in the condition that she was in, that I would do everything possible to make sure something was done at this intersection.
It has very limited sight distance, especially if you're coming off Morgan Road. To see traffic coming southbound on 113, it's very difficult. Everyone in our community knows about this intersection and how dangerous it is, but still yet, nothing's been done about it.
All right, back out here live, you're taking a look. So if you're at that stop sign here, making either a left turn or right, or trying to keep straight, if you look to your right, there's an embankment there, so you're not really able to see it. It's kind of inclined coming over that hill, so you have to pull out and just take your chances. I did reach out to GDOT and Haralson County. Highway 113, controlled by GDOT, by the state. Morgan Road here is Haralson County. I'm told that because it is a fatality, we have a third agency in here. That's the Georgia State Patrol. They're the ones that are leading that investigation. And last check, they're still investigating, so they don't know if any charges will be filed or anything like that. But unfortunately, this is giving that family a push to make sure that this does not happen again. And Tom, before I go, I talked with that pastor. He says he's only been here a couple of years. He can count 3 fatalities here at this intersection, and he said that there have been almost a dozen crashes in his short tenure here.
It's stunning, and it seems like such a rural area, and yet the aerial images that you provided, Eric, in your reporting showed just how dangerous it is. I mean, cars coming around that bend and down that hill are traveling at very high speeds, people unable to see it. I can only imagine what that area is like at night.
Yeah, and I have not seen any lights other than some of the lights kind of in people's houses there. But again, you can kind of see just how busy it is, cars going in different directions, and that van not able to see to the right of them to see if anything is coming down. So a lot of times they kind of creep up just a little bit, as it's doing here, and then making that chance and that leap to go either across or take that left or that type of thing. They're just kind of giving you a visual of what we're seeing out here.
Well, yeah, especially if you're also unfamiliar with that area and that intersection and just how fast people can go. That one car that you just showed us, the minivan, was looked like she was kind of sneaking across the roadway in hopes that nobody was headed in her direction. So you can see why that family is so upset and why they want those changes to be made. Eric Perry, live on the scene in what is indeed a seemingly very dangerous intersection. Eric, thanks. Well, there is a severe blood shortage, which is prompting LifeSouth to host an emergency drive to replenish supplies for Metro emergency medical teams. For more on how to donate, we're going to go to Maria Guzman, who has the latest.
In Marietta today, where LifeSouth is hosting a blood drive to help increase Atlanta's blood supply. There is a shortage right now, and the organization's working closely with local hospitals and 7 different EMS agencies to equip them with blood supply for when they're responding on the field.
I want you to imagine someone that may have been involved in a motor vehicle accident or was hit by a car or some other type of major trauma, and they're literally bleeding out. Back in the past, the only thing we could do is replace that volume with saline fluid. And saline fluid isn't, can't carry oxygen to tissue like what's really needed when someone's literally bleeding to death. We've been able to save dozens of lives right here in Cobb County by being able to give them blood minutes before they could have gotten it in a hospital.
How are you guys working closely with LifeSouth?
We've had an amazing partnership with LifeSouth. We were actually having a hard time getting blood in the pre-hospital environment until we partnered with LifeSouth, who was able to provide us with the units that we need to save lives.
The blood that they give you guys, where does that go, at least for your team?
Sure. For Cobb County, we have one unit right in the center of the county that has a cooler that contains the blood. They get dispatched out to any major emergency, anything where we think someone might need the blood, they get dispatched and sent right away.
Just walk me through, some scenarios where you have seen that blood supply, having access to that, has saved someone's life.
Absolutely. There's 2 incidents that come to mind right away. We had a gentleman who got hit by a car right in the center of the county. He was literally clinically dead on the street, and our team was able to revive him using pre-hospital blood. Another time we had a 13-year-old hit by a van up in North Cobb County, and his life was also saved by early pre-hospital blood delivery.
How does having blood with the EMS on the field save a life instead of waiting and having the victim be transported to a hospital?
Sure. Just imagine the time difference and that could go by. Someone who, let's say, gets hit by a vehicle now could be receiving blood in a matter of minutes instead of waiting until help got on the scene, that person got loaded into an ambulance and taken to an emergency room. And even after they get to an emergency room, there's a delay in trying to get that blood on board. So we've done some studies, and we're showing that we get blood in patients in about half the time it normally takes. Blood only comes from one place. We're not making blood. It comes from people who are donating it to organizations like LifeSouth. It's the only place we can get it, and it's absolutely necessary to save a life. In Cobb County, the unit that carries the blood and delivers it to the field is a team called MedOps. They're specially trained paramedics who have had additional training to give blood transfusions. They exist right in the center of Cobb County, and they get dispatched out to all incidents where we think that someone might be bleeding to death or having some other type of bleeding emergency.
Now, all blood types are needed, as well as plasma and double red cells. All the way from Marietta, I'll send things back to you.
All right, Maria, thanks. We're getting some brand new images after a news conference from Atlanta police about a suspect wanted, a 4th person in the deadly Piedmont Park shooting that killed a 16-year-old girl last month during 404 Day festivities. The grieving family of Tiana Robinson joined investigators to plead with the public for answers surrounding the April 4th outbreak of gunfire. Authorities say that the newly released video shows a man fleeing the park with a firearm immediately following the shooting. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for information leading to an arrest. In fact, they raised that reward from $15,000 to $25,000. So if you have any information that can lead to an arrest and a conviction in the case, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers. The president holds a swearing-in ceremony today at the White House for his new Federal Reserve Chief, Kevin Warsh. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas administered the oath of office to Warsh today, with his wife Jane holding the Bible. Today's ceremony marking the first time in nearly 40 years that a Fed chair has been sworn in at the White House.
I want to congratulate you, and I'd like to ask, if I might, Jane to step forward, and our very highly respected Justice Clarence Thomas to come up and swear in. Give him a good oath, if you would, because Clarence, we need a really good oath delivered here. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Please.
solemnly swear
I, Kevin Warsh, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
the duties on the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, Mr. President. This is above and beyond. It is such an honor for Jane and me to have this ceremony here in the East Room with you, sir. I couldn't ask for a more beautiful setting or more gracious welcome, and I am grateful. I recognize, as the President said, that ours is a time of great consequence. It's also a great honor for me to have the oath of office administered by one of the great and longest-serving public servants, a brilliant and independent thinker, a man dedicated to our Constitution, and no less important, a joyful and collegial presence on our highest court, my esteemed friend, Justice Clarence Thomas. Now, Justice Kavanaugh is here as well. We served as young staffers a full generation ago in this building, and I shouldn't be speaking for another justice, but I will tell you something that I always felt, that Justice Kavanaugh and I felt the majesty of this place where we're now sitting. And we counted ourselves blessed and grateful to serve the nation we love and to do it in your building, sir. And of course, I must thank Leader Thune, Chairman Tim Scott, and his fellow members of the Banking Committee who saw me through the Senate confirmation. My whole family and I are joined by many others here today who I'm honored to call friends and colleagues, mentors, confidants. Their presence means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to the President, too. It's the honor of a lifetime to be called back into public service. And with this oath, I've accepted a high and solemn responsibility. At the swearing in of Alan Greenspan at this very place in 1987, President Ronald Reagan called the chairmanship of the Federal Reserve a, quote, great role in American life. I've known 5 of my predecessors in this job, some of them quite well. But Chairman Greenspan was the first to tell me and show me what this role demands. He recently marked his 100th birthday, and although he can't be here, I'm thinking about him today too. Like Alan, I intend to fill the role of chairman with energy and purpose, just the way Chairman Greenspan did, faithful to the mission and the very best traditions of the Fed. As you demonstrate, Mr. President, every day, energy and purpose are how big obstacles are overcome. Your greatest ambitions are for America, for what free people can achieve when they have the chance. And while I'm not naive about the challenges we face, I believe, Mr. President, These years can bring.
That's Kevin Warsh, the new chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, standing next to the President of the United States at the White House after having gotten sworn in by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas there as the central bank's new chief, coming to the relief of the president, who has no love lost with the former chairman, Jerome Powell, who he always called too late because he had hoped Powell would have lowered interest rates to spur the economy. That didn't happen. In fact, the Federal Reserve was tasked with combating inflation, and so the president chose Kevin Warsh to assume that role in hopes that Warsh will be more aggressive in those so-called cuts. When we come back, we're going to head up to Kennesaw, the biggest food truck festival kicking off today at Town Center. When we come back, we're going to check in with our Chris Rosenthal, who's there live when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, Kennesaw's biggest food truck festival is kicking off today at the Town Center at Cobb. Let's get out to our Chris Rosenthal standing by live. You know, if you look across downtown Atlanta, you see this huge curtain of rain out there. Thunderstorms, Chris, in a good part of our area. What's the weather like up there?
Up here, it is sunny and really nice, and they say they're going to be here all weekend, rain or shine, so hopefully the weather won't cause any problems here. But yeah, I'm at the Foodie Fest here at, this is at Kennesaw, it's Town Center at Cobb here, and got all kinds of food. We got honey over here, local honey. We've got lots of, we got cakes. We've got all kinds of food from a variety of different genres and different groups, seafood and barbecue, a little bit of everything. And I have Maya here. Hey Maya, so tell me a little bit about what is in store, what's on offer here for the weekend here.
So we have a bunch of different stuff. We have crafters, there's like leather purses, there's some honey, we got crochet, some t-shirts, some crystals, anything that you can think of. Food, we got lemonade, we got sweets, we got all different types of culture. We even have a vegan truck this weekend.
Oh wow. So how many vendors do you have?
We have about 80 vendors roughly.
80 vendors, and I got one of them right here. This is Backyard Smoke and Grill.
tell me what is this right here that you have?
So this is our seafood loaded pineapple bowl with fried lobster and shrimp. It is hibachi, all organic, fresh vegetables that's cut from scratch. Everything is cut from scratch from this bowl.
Oh wow! So how do you get an idea like this to put it on a pineapple?
You know what? Just actually thinking out loud to myself. One day we have to do something different to make sure that people eat nutritious food, and then fresh food when you come to an event. All the events that we have are more so already pre-cooked, so we like to cook our food by order. So that's one of the reasons we came up with something like this.
Can I try a bite?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I'm gonna flip this. Give this a little bite here and see. I tried some barbecue here earlier in the 1 o'clock hour, so I gotta get a little seafood in here too, and had a little bit of I'll try the shrimp here. So yeah. Oh, that's really, really good. Yeah, really good. I'm having one more of these here. We'll walk around a little bit more, but
don't forget your veggies.
I'm sorry?
Don't forget your veggies.
Oh yeah. No, I'll get the veggies too, but yeah. A little bit dirty fingers here, but yeah. So this goes on here. This is at again at town.
We're certainly glad we can see what's in your mouth as you eat it, Chris.
Yeah. Sorry,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
A little bit better here, but it's just so good. It's hard to. Wow, that is really
Don't let us interrupt, please.
Hard to concentrate. Yeah, no, of course. But anyways, if you want to come enjoy something like that. And all the food here, I mean, we got, again, a whole bunch of different things here. Town Center at Cobb, and it goes on all weekend. It goes until 9 o'clock tonight, 11 to 9 tomorrow, and 11 to 7 on Sunday. And they say, again, rain or shine, huh?
Yep, rain or shine. Grab your umbrellas, grab your coat, and come on out.
Rain. All right, so yeah. So rain or shine, they'll be out here to all weekend, so.
You were covering a food festival not too long ago. I can't remember when. You didn't look nearly as happy as you do at this food festival. Your mouth wasn't full of food. You didn't have that big smile on your face. So what makes this one different than other food festivals? Looks like a good time out there.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. This is this one's got some more vendors here this week than the one last week that was up in Lawrenceville. So a lot more stuff here to try.
Because we got to go in 30 seconds. So location and parking are two things that I always like to talk about.
Absolutely. Location, again, Town Center at Cobb, right off of Barrett Parkway. You can go 75 or 575 to get here. And parking, it's in the mall parking lot, so plenty of parking here in the lot. So.
All right, looks good. You've been on three streaming shows this afternoon, so we expect big dividends when you come back here to the Fox 5 studios. Chris Rosenthal.
Oh, yeah, well, I've got a few goodies for sure.
All right, great. Chris, thanks. Enjoy. And thank you for joining us here for the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haines, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Don't go anywhere. The news continues right here, right now.